Hello everyone and welcome back once again to the Clash Royale Crown Championship. My name is Trid and I'm here to ground you through the EU region for the full season. We've had 4 weeks of competitive play so far and we're about to jump into our 5th. But before we do that, we need to recap our journey. So let's go over to the LED wall and see how things pan out. We of course started with our 20-win challenge. 20 wins, no more than 3 losses. You found yourself a space in one of our brackets. Over 1,000 players could be competing in any of these brackets and only 1 spot was available to go through to the next phase. That was our elimination week. The top 16 players in Europe battled head-to-head in a 4-group showdown. Only the top 2 players from each group found their way into phase 4, which was our top 10. Our double round-robin competition, which we have just gone over the cusp of last week, and we're into the final stages of it. 3 more weeks to go on that. And there's all to play for the seeding for Phase 5, our full finals, because only the top 6 players will make it through to that stage where they start to earn the real money. Speaking of which, here's how the prize pool breaks down. First place, $15,000 for the first place finish, scaling all the way down, and just for making it to the Phase 4, $3,500 to take home. So no one goes home empty-handed, and it's not money to scoff at. But if you're just tuning in for the first time this season, there's going to be some new faces for you. So let's give a rundown of those. The ones to watch out for definitely have got to be Icelaw, Louie, Soaking, and Lupanji. These guys have been killing it in the previous weeks, and they're looking to do it again in week 5. A couple of the old faces returning from last time, though. Surgical Goblin, Donkey Kong, Baron, they've come back from spring. Some of them are doing well, others not so much. But let's see how they've worked out here after 4 weeks of play when we take a look at our leaderboard. Team Queso dominating number 1 and 2 at the moment. Surgical Goblin and Soaking sitting up there nice and tight. But Icelaw so close to dethroning one of them. Only needs to get a couple more wins under his belt, and I'm sure he can do it. But Louie, Lupanji, Baron, if this was the final week, they would be through to the fall finals. But it's not. They've got 3 more weeks of play, and that matters so much to Donkey Kong and Tin. Unfortunately, I don't think Adam and them Sensei can actually make it and qualify for 4 finals now. Unfortunately, they will not be joining us today to compete, so they've actually default lost all of their matches. Let's have a look at the schedule and see how that shapes things up, though. As you can see, Tin, he picks himself up a 3 win. So does Donkey Kong. We're going to kick things off with Icelaw going up against Tin. So he still gets that match 1 slot. Lupanji versus Louie. I'm really excited to see what Lupanji does this week. We had a new patch drop yesterday. He's one of the more creative players. Could we see some Sparky coming out from him? And then you go into Baron versus Soaking. Further down the schedule, we're going to be having a look at a couple of other matches. Louie versus Donkey Kong, Adam versus Icelaw might be a good one, but Icelaw versus Lupanji is probably the most critical one because they're the closest proximity if we look at the leaderboard. But the match I'm excited for, everyone's excited for since their first round matchup, Surgical Goblin versus Soaking, match 12 on our schedule today. That single victory between either of them could define who gets first place and who gets second. So it's all to play for today in week 5. But of course, from spring, we moved into having a ban system in the fall. We're going to have someone go over that for you in a second. But if you're tuning in, the European region has a lot of languages, so we're going to give you a little bit of choice with that one. Let's introduce our language broadcast teams across Europe. So we have Spanish, French, German, Italian, and Turkish. But of course, the gentlemen I'm going to pass you over to our English language broadcast team, Woody and Enchantin.
Thanks, Trid. I am Enchantin from #Gaming.
And howdy guys, I'm Woody from Reddit Alpha, and today we're going to be walking you through and commentating on the matches in the CCGS European Region Day 5. And chatting, we've got a new format this season. Bans are introduced into the game. Each player can choose 1 card that they don't want to play against at all for the entirety of a best-of-3 match, and neither they nor their opponents will be able to play it. This has introduced a little bit of complications into how these players have built their decks up, and has even resulted in a disqualification once when a player accidentally used a banned card. Just as an example on the screen here, you can see Icelaw and Soaking choosing Goblins and Skeletons. That's not the actual bans. We're going to get something else. What do you think we might see in terms of bans, and how does that impact their gameplay?
Well, especially with the new patch just dropping yesterday with the balance changes, we've seen a lot of Mega Knights previously and P.E.K.K.A.s being banned. Now that we've seen a little bit of tweak to Graveyard, we might be seeing a little bit less P.E.K.K.A. ban, and I'm gonna predict a lot of Mega Knights getting cleared off the board almost in every matchup today, Woody.
That's a pretty fair assessment in chat, and I think that the big, heavy bodies, the mid-sized, absolutely obliterate the mid-sized attackers. Guys like Giant, that's your pin there, has been having a little bit of trouble going up against both Mega Knight and P.E.K.K.A. So seeing either of those two banned is a popular option. Balloon has also been a pretty popular ban option against players who don't want to have to go up against air-based decks. You know, whenever we play on the ladder and Chan, we got to be ready for anything to come at us. We got to have a deck that's well-rounded and is built to withstand the tests of many different types of attacks. But if you're able to ban Balloon, there's not a whole lot of air-based attacks that you have to worry about in the game, are there?
That is true, Woody. Lupanji definitely getting Balloon banned versus him, but we're going to get into match number 1, Ice Law and Tindala. The thing about this matchup, Tindala 3-7, Ice Law 7-3. Ice Law wanting to get another victory to catch up to Soaking and Surgical Goblin, who look like they're almost running away with, first and second place. This would be a huge matchup for them, but right off the bat, double Graveyard ban. They saw it get buffed or nerfed. I'm not quite sure if it's a buff or a nerf yet, but either way, we're not going to see either Graveyard being played by players. Do you think this is going to be a trend throughout the entire day, Woody?
It very well may be. Graveyard got changed recently in the last round of balance changes. It actually got quite a big mechanics change kind of in the underneath and the nitty gritty of how Clash Royale works. The radius got a little bit smaller. So when you play that Graveyard smell, it's a little bit smaller, but the skeletons only spawn on the outside of the circle. It lasts 10 seconds now instead of the 9, which it got reduced to because it was so dang good way back when. And the skeletons don't start spawning until I think it's 2.5 seconds after the spell gets played, instead of just 1.5, 2 seconds, something like that.
I mean, I played with it the other day, and somebody put a baby dragon in the middle of their tower.
How'd that work?
0 damage.
Really?
He took nothing. So definitely, I'm not quite sure if it's really a buff to Graveyard yet. I really feel like big splashy units like a Baby Dragon could be very effective at clearing it out. And Baby Dragon before, it still could have done 700 damage to your tower with that just defending it. I feel like it's still kind of, in the process of figuring out new decks to play with it. But I think the players are playing it safe and saying, I'm not going to let you beat me with a Graveyard coming out of nowhere. If you have a hitting Graveyard deck already that just obliterates my tower right off the bat, I don't want to have to deal with that. Just how we saw with, when the Night Witch came into the, play in the earlier stages of this, somebody just got knocked out right off the bat. Giant, Night Witch, it was over. So take what you don't know out of the equation. That way you're not going to have anything that surprises you.
That somebody has a name. His name was Isopa. Once upon a time.
Once upon a time.
Had a great chance against CGS, but yeah, Giant Night Witch actually stomped on him. And just like you said, obliteration is the best word to describe what happens to your tower if a Graveyard gets a good lock. Now, it has tended to be a little bit swingy in the past. It either does absolutely destroy it, or like you said, you get a good counter like a Baby Dragon right on top, and it does 0 damage at all. I heard that the balance changes were actually tooled specifically to try to make it so that it wasn't quite so swingy, that it wasn't either complete annihilation or no damage at all, that it was trying to be something a little bit more towards the center of that, duality
the
there.
pendulum, yeah.
They spawn a little bit closer to the tower now, given, but they don't necessarily have the ability to clump up as much as they used to. They kind of spawn up here and down there and over to the side and left and right, up, down. They're kind of zigzagging all around. So splash damage, actually, I think is not quite as good against Graveyard as it used to be. I think that the ranged attackers cards like Archers and Dark Goblin are really good. I'm talking a lot about Graveyard for a card that's not even going to be played in this matchup. Yeah. So what do you think that we can maybe expect to see in a world where Graveyard is non-existent?
Well, I think pretty much the same decks that we were seeing before, but with Sparky getting a buff, maybe we might see a Sparky deck in this matchup. Probably not. These players, not really known to play Sparky like that.
Is anyone really known to play Sparky, though, in chat?
Is that a shot at me, Woody?
No, I'm just saying, no one really plays it, right?
Well, I mean, Surgical Goblin's probably going to pull out Sparky. He might even throw out a mirror. You never even know. Might even throw in Rage in the deck.
Upanji played.
That's Upanji.
Played some kind of wacky decks earlier in the season. Yeah, might be willing to run it now. And just for those who didn't get the memo, Sparky now shoots at a 4-second hit speed instead of 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And that 1 second makes a lot of difference. Shooting faster can often mean the difference between you destroying whatever's coming at you and just getting obliterated. So, sort of like that swing, like sort of the graveyard earlier. Yeah. They're trying to make them a little bit more stable type of cards. And even though the hit speed has gone down, the DPS has remained relatively the same. They actually decrease the total damage that Sparky does, which makes sense. If you're not charging up as long, you shouldn't deal quite as much damage, right?
But the DPS does go up, though.
Interesting.
Had a 20% nerf in hit speed, but only a 15% nerf in damage overall.
Okay, so total damage goes up. The hit points for the unit were unchanged, right? A rocket can still kill a Sparky.
All the interactions kind of stay the same. It still kills a mini P.E.K.K.A. It still doesn't kill a knight.
Does it, though?
It does.
It kills a mini P.E.K.K.A.
Yeah,
Okay.
I played a lot on it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I played a lot with it yesterday.
So no major interactions changed.
Nothing major interaction changed. The only thing that changes is it does more damage and it shoots faster. So the card did get
it does less
significant
damage,
buff.
but more DPS.
Yeah, less damage and more DPS. Oh, yeah, over time, yes.
Yeah.
So, and the charge up, the 4 seconds is a little bit different. You know, it definitely changes the aspect of the card, especially, you know, if you knew how to zap it at the perfect time or knew how to drop an Electro Wizard, you could be seeing a misplaced zap because, oh crap, it just did it early, 1 second earlier. That could be the difference of your whole entire army getting shot in one shot. It does still, I think it does 1,100 something damage. One shot is done. All your units. Poof. Poof. The Ice Golem ain't going to be no MVP if a Sparky's shooting on it.
Not at all. Yeah. But Flying Troops can take it out, and it can't shoot back at Flying Troops. Any Swarm cards can get pretty good value, even though it does splash damage. If you wait for the Sparky to get on your side of the arena, that's when you get to call the family in, right? Get the Skeleton Army on there, get a Goblin Gang to surround them. Even guards. With the shield, boom, the shield gets destroyed. They block it. Shield goes down, but hey, they're still doing quite a bit of damage out there. They do more damage than skeletons do.
They do.
And with the tower especially helping you out, you can take it down. Now, the tower is something that we've taken for granted in the new game mode. You know about Touchdown coming out, right?
That's true. I do know about Touchdown Tower. There's no tower in Touchdown.
Not at all.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
Hog Rider seems to be the MVP so far in Touchdown. Lava Hound as well, Golem. I'm really liking those cards. What's so far your favorite defensive building in Touchdown mode?
Favorite defensive building? Can I give you two? Is that fair?
That's fair.
I think that Inferno Tower is the best, pure defensive building because it can burn up.
Yeah.
The Lava Hound, the Golem. It can even block for, a negative elixir trade, the Hog Rider. But I think that kind of my favorite, hybrid type building might be the Furnace because it sits there. It does the same sort of job in blocking. It can, take a Hog Rider, Battle Ram, anything that's coming quick at your tower.
All right.
But it spits out those little fire spirits. And those little suckers do a lot of damage, and they travel really fast. So if your opponents ignore it, they can get a touchdown just as well as a Golem can,
That's true. I like the Goblin Hut spawning those Spear Goblins, that fast move speed, just getting to the end zone, per se, getting that touchdown. They just keep spawning over and over again. You have to deal with it. And let's say you drop archers or something to deal with it. All of a sudden, they get taken out from the other side of the field, I guess you can call it, an arena, and then you still have more waves because it lasts, 45 seconds? Yeah. So it's insane amount of time that it lasts for.
Yeah. Really long time, yeah. Spawners are massive value, and I think one of the reasons why we don't see players being able to choose their own decks for this game mode and why you have to use this draft mode, right? You're given cards one or the other to switch between, is because we would see a lot more hard counters, and we'd see a lot more
SimCity effect.
Yeah, we'd see a lot of buildings going down. Yeah, so I think the fact that you have to choose between one or the other, and a lot of times they're kind of similar cards, right? Like I get to choose between something like Tombstone or Furnace. They're both spawners. They're both kind of slow and steady, not really applying too much pressure, but something that can really gum up the game if you weren't playing in a draft mode.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing. Like with you're talking about with no towers, you just have to get to an end zone. There's endless amount of possibilities that you can do. You can build a fortress of buildings, you know, if you had the opportunity, and then just hog, better him, you know? Like, what fun would that be? So the draft keeps it fresh. It keeps it, you know, and every game is different. And, you know, so far, I'm really liking the game mode, Woody.
Yeah.
It's something fresh. It's new. It's something that, you know, never really seen before. You know, you're in a building, you know, tower defense kind of game, and now there's no building.
It's completely different.
What do I got to do?
Is it even Clash Royale? I don't know.
No,
Yeah, it's something brand new.
Yeah.
Well, we are waiting on that first matchup, guys, so please bear with us. We're just waiting the same as you are for those players to hop in. But speaking of this update, we've got a little bit more to talk about there, too. There have been changes to the shop. There have been the introduction of this new quest system.
The quest?
The tournament, you know, challenge tab has been changed up a little bit. But thank goodness I don't have to feel too much more here. We got the first match going on now. $10 up on top, the Croatian player versus Islaw from France on bottom.
All right, looks like a poison. Gonna just chip away at this pump here. Nothing too substantial happening. Early game is kind of just feeling out your opponent.
Feeling him out, huh, Chatton?
Feeling him out. Goblin Gang's in the...
Got to get a good sense for what they bring to the table here.
Whoa, will we see guards?
That's why I was feeling you out earlier today.
Oh, Woody.
Got to be ready for anything.
A little too much information there,
Well,
Woody.
I mean, I just want everyone to know how comfortable we are.
That is true. That is true. Minion Horde. Oh, there's a miner coming in. Is it going to be stopped? No.
Nice attack from $10, trying to punish this Elixir Collector. Doing a great job, too. Taking a lot of damage off of the pump and hitting that left side tower nice and hard. Exactly 1,000 damage left on that left side tower for 10 left.
10 left?
For
10 left. $10.
It's the left side, and that's how much damage he has left to do.
Ooh, there it is.
10 has that much left, yeah.
Yeah, 1,000 life. That's one push, one damage. You know, that's... When a bandit connects on your tower, there's the only thing better than a bandit dancing on your tower is a battle ram. All right. Lumberjack not going to be able to get to the tower there.
No, Miner connects with his Elixir Collector outright.
Greedy Miner, though.
Now, if Islaw just soaks all that damage, the Miner will actually retarget onto the King, and that could be a great defensive advantage. That's what he's going to do. He drops a lot of Elixir there, but Islaw with his King Tower activated has now got a defensive boon to try to bolster this left lane. 10 is not trying to punish just yet. He's going to wait for this Golem to approach. Oh, he's got 3 Muskies, though, to try to shoot it down. 2 on the left lane. But Poison's able to take him out, right?
No.
Are they going to stay in? I think they just barely are. Wow. Lucky break there from Islaw, or perfect placement. Either way, this is a big push in the left lane. Islaw with the Golem, guards, and even an Ice Spirit freezing up. I'm wondering if he's running Clone as his last card in this deck. I know that's kind of a weird card, but I've seen a lot of Lumberjack Golem Clone decks recently. Have you seen those?
Yeah, I have. I've seen a couple of them, and here comes a Miner in on the left-hand side.
Ooh, great catch.
Oh,
but he's going to need a lot of splash damage to get rid of this big push. We had 2 bandits in the back there. I don't know if you noticed that. One does go down, but we still have another one. They break apart that Golem, and it's a little bit too much for this Inferno Dragon to deal with. He much prefers targeting onto one single big attacker rather than that big swarm.
The right-hand side, though, just getting smacked around with these Musketeers. One solo Musketeer took it all the way down, and the other one's going to finish her off. Her sister's going to finish the job. No!
Great stab at the left side. The Lumberjack keeps the tower up, but this is a big attack coming on in. I don't even know if Islaw's going to be able to hold on. No, the bandit dashes onto the tower, and it goes down. $10 with the GG. Well played. Takes the first game in this matchup.
Beautifully played there. Just so much pressure on the right, on the left. Just really no time for Islaw to breathe and just keep, you know, get that pump down, get the Golem push that he wanted. He kind of got one Golem push out, but that was it. Once he didn't connect on that, it was over. The Musketeers just kept on, you know, rolling in left side, right side. He had to keep on letting the right side get pummeled by Musketeer shot after Musketeer shot. Couldn't really waste any elixir to defend it because he needed it with his Golem. Wasn't able to connect with that one key Golem push. And there it is. 3 Musketeer cycle getting the win this time. Actually kind of beat down because it does have the battle ram in it. But beautifully played.
Yeah, I think those bandit connections were really the best part of that game for Tyndall. And as you can see over here at the very end, she's the one who finishes that tower off. Nice damage from her, consistently getting in there. And even though she kind of got tweaked a little bit in this last round of balance changes, she doesn't quite dash as often as she used to. There's a little bit of a bug fix there to make sure that she was, sticking by the rules, not dashing too close or dashing behind the Mega Knight and around that. You can see that she still gets a lot of respect from top players and is getting a lot of value in this specific matchup here. You talked earlier about pressure in chat and that there was a lot of pressure on Tyndall. There actually is a ton of pressure on him right now because he is one of the guys that's down there toward the bottom of the leaderboard. He's at number 8 right now, and you got to be top 6 to advance into stage 5. That's the double elimination bracket. Tyndall, with the previous disqualification that we had today against Nim Sensei, is actually at a 4-7 record right now. Not a strong position, but certainly not mathematically excluded from a top 6 spot to get into that bracket. On the other hand, Islaw, number 3 player, the Team Kesso player that we had been talking about a lot as being one of these dark horse candidates to be even the number 1 in the region, just drops the first game there in chatting.
Yeah, Tenzala looking strong in this week, and this is a match he needs. I don't really like to say this is a do or die kind of match for him, but it's starting to get towards the end, and the pack is slowly starting to move ahead. You have 8-3, 7-3. I think Islaw, 7-3, 6-5 is, the cutoff right now. And if you're sitting at 3 wins still after this week, you're probably not going to be able to make it. But this is a beautiful win. Win game number 1. Can he replicate the success in game number 2?
We got Pump City right now in game number 2. Islaw and Tin both playing a pump and then a bandit. Oh, he was at the left lane. I think Islaw was going for the juke move there. He thought that the bandit might have been, or rather that the miner was going straight for the tower, but great defense nonetheless. A big investment over here on the left lane with this Mega Knight. He's going to jump onto this battle ram as soon as it gets the chance to charge over there.
Yeah, it might be 3 Muskies versus this Mega Knight.
What? He never even went for it. Mega Knight, what are you doing? There's a battle ram going on the right lane.
Oh, man, he left the job, and Minion's going to get easily cleared out.
Absent without leave, that poor Mega Knight. He's going to get a talking to later from the boss.
Oof, he just left. He didn't even try.
No,
he was like,
didn't.
You know what? I'm just going to go for the tower.
Half hit points remain on the right side, and Islaw's Inferno Dragon's having difficulty getting through this Goblin gang. I think it's a good counter from Tyndall, and even though they're both pumping up in the back left, Tin's going to sit in the miner. Can he get caught?
E-Wizard?
Ooh,
there it is.
This job, it does take 1 swing and a zap. That's value from Tin trying to take the Elixir Collector out in the back left, but Islaw's got to commit to this E-Wiz push if he wants to get anything out of it.
Oh, he just lets the tower.
Takes it down.
Giant Mega Knight.
What is Islaw's thinking here right now? Because we only have graveyard bans. P.E.K.K.A. and Mega Knight hurt this Giant a lot. I think it's pretty lucky that Tin is actually only running 3 Muskies.
Yeah.
Okay, and we got double Muskies coming in over on the left lane. She's going to get to the bridge. Connects with the tower down to 1766, but the right side attack is still hurting hard. We got a big hit from both sides. Islaw tearing that right lane down to 1450, and left side going down from the bandit down to 1542. And he might be back in this thing. I think that double elixir time is certainly playing to his advantage. What are you thinking, Jen?
Yeah, this is going to be a huge push. Fireball coming out as well. Oh my goodness, he's got every counter in the book to 3 Musketeers. Oh, here's the Giant knot. Oh, gonna get 1 shot off.
Oh, just doing a dash. Oh, stopped by the Goblin gang.
This is gonna be close. Mega Knight.
everyone, and welcome back to the Crown Championship. First off, I'd just like to apologize for the outage we just suffered. That was because of a major outage of our online distribution network, which hindered all the rebroadcasting across multiple platforms. So we'd like to apologize for the delay we've had in the action, but however, we're going to jump straight back into the action, so we are going to go back to our casters, Woody and Chanton, to get back into the next matches.
Thanks, Trid. Next matchup we are going to see, Woody, is Baron versus Soaking. Soaking sitting on top of the podium right now, 9-2. Baron, 6-5. Pretty important game for him. You know, he definitely wants to get a step higher into the blue, you know, kind of avoid all the lower ends of the pack coming out of that, you know, red. Soaking, on the other hand, 9-2. He definitely wants to stay ahead of his teammate, Surgical Goblin.
Oh, show. And I just want to say thanks to Mama Woody. She was one of the few viewers who were still watching through that little break. We've got some great gameplay coming back in, though, with Pump and eWiz Band. These guys are going back to their roots. We had a Princess and Loon ban in the previous matchup where we saw Soaking take the win on a 2-0. These are a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more standard, a little bit more type of bands that we've seen recently. With the Elixir Collector band, I think that the target there is to try to get rid of those bigger, heavier decks that run things like Golem and Three Musketeers. What does the eWiz ban mean to you?
The eWiz ban means to me, take away Baron's ability to rely on that card as a crutch. We've seen it banned versus him pretty much throughout this entire tournament, starting with Surgical Goblin. It's a card that he relies on pretty much as his only defensive unit. You know, he uses that and maybe like bats or something like that to take out all the aerial assaults. So we might see some, you know, balloons coming out here. But we're about to come right into the action. Baron Soaking game number 1.
I wonder if that eWiz... You just kissed me in chat? What was that? I think you just blew a little kiss at me.
Blew a little kiss?
Yeah. With the eWiz damage reduction, though, I wonder if that still is a good move to choose to ban eWiz against Baron. You know, it was for a long time one of his favorite cards, but I'm not quite sure if it's going to get as much value as it has in the past. These players are both kind of feeling each other out right now, seeing what their opponents are running. We got a Cannon card from Soaking, an interesting choice there. It recently got a little bit of a buff. We're going to see if that's going to be enough to get it onto the right side tower.
We're going to see a graveyard. There it is. Poison as well.
I think that the Inferno Tower keeps that cannon card just out of range, and with the defensive poison, Baron's able to take out most of the graveyard there. The UC gets about 400 damage in. That's value. Yep. I actually think that cannon card was out of range. It's funny. They changed it to make it a little bit better, but it still makes that giant death sound, the giant deploy sound whenever it dies.
That's true. That it does. If you listen very, very closely, you'll be able to hear that. And just like you said...
You hold a cannon card up to your ear, and what do you hear? A giant screaming somewhere. What the log? Right side takes a little bit of damage. And
need the bats clear out the Ice Spear before it clears it. And this graveyard's going to do a little bit of damage, but once... Again, defensive poison,
though, gonna keep most of it off. I think we got archers coming in to save the day against this Ice Wizard out here. Not much of a connection for either player yet. That left lane for him, Soaking down to 2267, but he's done more damage on the right, and I think that he might be favored in double elixir time, unless Baron's got a real big card to bounce back with. Is this a Hog Rider deck, or has he got something even bigger that he's holding on to?
He's going on the right-hand side here. Ice Spear coming down from Baron once again. The assault just continues. Defensive poison once again, Woody.
A little bit off-centered, though, this time, and that bottom skeleton actually got a hit in there, bringing it down to 1953. But it's been pretty much consistent hits and counter hits. And look, we actually have a double graveyard game here. Both players running it. Left lane is going to get some damage peeled off, but defensive poison is able to do most of it there. We've got graveyard poison as the two spells trying to get value off here, but poison pretty much is a safe counter to it, not letting very much damage on there at all. But Soaking actually is not in rotation, and he's going to take a ton of damage out the left lane. Mega Minion trying to swipe these skeletons down, but not getting the job done just quickly enough. Oh, Soaking saved up that poison for an offensive hit on the right lane.
Yeah, but guess what? Baron just said defensive poison. Is he going to cycle back to it in time?
Uh-oh, this Inferno Tower is going to get gummed up by a bunch of bats out the front, and I think that this cannon cart could get even more damage in with the defensive Ice Golem blocking for it. It's going to get a chance. No! Can't quite get within range.
No.
Swipe. Swipe. Swipe or no swiping. Get him to stop.
Oh,
A lot of hits out the right side, bring it down to 600 damage, and even more peeled off from that poison. Soaking might be in spell cycle range at this point.
Here comes the cannon cart offensively on the right-hand side. Is it going to connect on the tower?
Yes, it will. Gets the shot off, and it's in range. Quick log on the right lane. Takes it out. Bats helping out as well, but the offensive graveyard on the left that Baron sent in did not get any support. And I think that he might be able to finish off this push on the right. Just needs one little skeleton stab, and the poison will be able to tick it down. Good game from Baron, and well played to Soaking. He gets the 1-0 lead in this match.
The cannon of the cart killing the Inferno Tower, distracting. Definitely the MVP in that matchup. Cannon cart. That's the first time we've really seen it in the CCGS here in EU. And makes a strong 1-0 appearance, just like the Flying Cart currently sitting at 2-0. Cannon Cart slowly rising up, 1-0.
Nice job to the cannon cart there. I'm not going to say that that was the reason that Soaking got the win, but you know, even though it costs 5 elixir, it can get a little bit of work done there, sitting just outside of tower range most of the time. But we've got another quick look at that past game to see the clutch kill moment there. I think that the key interaction in that matchup, though, was Graveyard versus Poison. The fact that we actually got a big ol' Mega Minion to lock onto the tower was great value for Baron.
Yeah, and the Ice Wizard just slowing it down, slow. And Soaking just had all the answers. Ice Wizard one-shotting skeletons if he needed on defense. He had the defensive poisons as well. And just Baron, he slowly got back into the game during the mid-game, but during that end game, double elixir time, Soaking just kept on coming at him over and over again with the graveyard cycles. And the key deciding factor in that matchup was when he graveyarded the left-hand side and bats were able to clear it out, because there was no poison from Baron there. When you lose an entire 5 elixir push to just bats, you turn into, you know, defensive mode for the rest of the game. And when you're in a graveyard versus graveyard situation, that's never the way you want to go.
Not at all, and especially because Poison provides such a perfect counter to the graveyard. It lasts just about as long, and it is able to kill those poor little skeletons in one tick. That means that you got to switch to some other offensive option. They were both trying to, you know, rack their brains, figuring out what could potentially lock onto the tower. I think that Soaking just had a few more options, realized it a little bit sooner, and got that Mega Minion to hit, got the Cannon Cart to hit. And so Baron, you know, was cycling poisons onto the left lane, but that was pretty much the only way he could really get damage in. There wasn't a whole lot of heavy hitting offense besides the skeleton spawning in from the graveyard, but smaller now, harder to get it to lock onto the intended targets, but it still does take out most of the pump, right? It only leaves it with one little bit of juice left, and it hits that tower awfully hard. If you've got Witch or Wizard or Musketeer, or even 3 Muskies in your deck, Lightning can get a lot of value against those targets. But these CCGS players are very sneaky, very tricky, and they often don't leave themselves open to those sorts of spell-based attacks. It'll be interesting to see what they run with Bomb Tower and Minor Band. What would you play in, Chatton?
Bomb Tower, Minor Band? Ugh. Giant Sparky.
Giant Sparky.
Giant Sparky.
Boom.
Done. We go for 3 crowns here. That's it.
That's what Nim Sensei does, right?
Hey.
Not today.
Yeah, not today.
Maybe we'll see him sometime.
Not today. Maybe we might see, if not that, we're probably going to see a lot of pump decks.
Okay.
I feel like maybe Golem, you know, the Golem decks. Maybe even seeing maybe Bait, just because, you know, you have the Rocket for a pump. Just like you said, then you have a lot of swarmy troops to deal with it. Got Goblin Barrels. Yeah, I think we're going to see probably Bait, maybe Golem. It's very hard to say. Maybe we might even see some Spear Goblins in here with their little buff.
Yeah, could be. This is also going to be a pretty interesting match because it's going to be the first time that we've seen these guys going up against each other. We've got 7 weeks of this double round robin format for you to enjoy, but in week 5, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we've not seen Louie and Donkey Kong duke it out against each other just yet. Louie is in a much better position. We've seen him earlier today. Didn't get the victory against Lupanji, but is still definitely in the top 6 and trying to hold on to that spot. Donkey Kong, on the other hand, is one of our 2 players at the bottom who's not currently in the top 6, is not mathematically excluded from being able to move on to the double elimination bracket in stage 5, but would have an awfully difficult time reaching that if he can't go on just a win streak now.
Well, the win streak starts now. This game is going to be crucial. You know, we don't really like to say it, just like I've said earlier in the broadcast. At this stage, you know, especially players that, you know, only have 3 wins, a lot of players that are getting 6 wins right now are moving up. Lupanji was 6 and 5. Now he's got his 7th win. You kind of need to start moving up, you know, in the podium. You can't, you know, stay down there, because if you wait until the last week, it's just going to create a lot of pressure for you that's unnecessary. But we're going to go into the first match here. We got Donkey Kong versus Louie.
DK, not quite the leader of the bunch just yet, but he is going to be building up for a big push. Ooh, the first time I think I've seen an Expo in CCGS European region. Ooh, Log's going to be able to knock that cannon card off. It's out of range of the Expo now, and it's going to be able to whittle that thing all the way down. Ice Golem out in front, providing a good bit of block there. Mega Minion to swipe out this Baby Dragon. That's a decent punish by Louie. Hasn't yet hit that Elixir Collector, but he got about 900 damage off the right side tower.
Yeah, and he needed to waste the zap on the Mega Minion as well, so doing good here. Donkey Kong, though, does have this pump out, which could cause some problems. And there's a Golem coming out on the right-hand side. This needs to be a big punish here from Donkey Kong. Otherwise, he's going to get punished by the Expo of Louie.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about Expo right now. But wow, we see a new card, Tesla, coming out. I think Expo can work really well as a punish on the opposite lane, but Louie definitely sees that he needs to defend at this point and is trying to keep this big old guy off. Tesla dealing more DPS, just gets that Golem dead before he connects with the tower. Defensive Mega Minion swipes down his opponent, and it looks like just the Baby Dragon that Louie has to worry about now. But he gets more damage in than he was able to deal against Donkey Kong. And DK now with a damage advantage and a little bit more Elixir to play around with. Has only got to worry about archers creeping in the right lane.
Yeah, only got to worry about archers. He can easily pump up here, and he knows he is in a very, very good position. Louie can't afford...
Whoa. Boom! Big ol' rocket lands on the left lane, killing the Elixir Collector 6-for-6 trade that we talked about earlier, and nuking the tower for 493 damage.
Yeah, 493 damage, and here comes a Golem on the right-hand side. There's an Expo on the left. Woody, the Motor Mola, what do you have to say about that Expo?
I think it's a good call. You see a big attack coming in one lane, you definitely want to try to punish the opposite side. Now, Louie might even lose his right side tower. He's going to be in a very precarious position, but he's absolutely torn down Donkey Kong's left lane. Can he keep this thing off? I don't think that the Tesla's going to get the work done. It's kind of 4 Elixir just thrown away right there, and unfortunately for Louie, now the Expo has lost its lock on the left lane and won't be able to finish it off. That's going to require a rocket, big heavy-handed 6 Elixir push to be able to take it off. He gets the throw in, and this thing will go into overtime as long as Louie can keep this big attack off of his King Tower. He's down to 1631 already.
Ooh, is this Expo going to lock onto the tower?
Oh, barely misses it. Nice Ice Golem to distract the cannon card, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to go anywhere with this Expo now relocking onto the cannon card again. It's out of range, but big ol' Expo can't do a whole lot of work if it's not shooting at the tower, can it?
No, it can't, and I think this might be the push that ends it. Somehow Louie has got to get a lot of damage on the right, and there's going to be Golems that are going to be cycled.
Lots of Golem coming in, but it's not too healthy. I think Louie might be able to finish off this push right now, but he's still behind on Elixir and in a very precarious position. Is Donkey Kong going to commit to this push? He very well may. Golemite soaking damage, but I think the Mega Minion's a great counter by Louie to finish off the Baby Dragon.
Yeah, once again, another Golem placed in the back, getting very, very risky with these Golems. Golem is double Elixir.
Okay.
Get 2 for 1.
Yeah.
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 2 for 1.
That's a good deal.
Can you pass up 2 for 1?
No.
No, especially when you have a Golem that costs 8. But match number 2 coming up. Donkey Kong. First win, great win for him. He needs this series. Can't stress it enough how much he needs this. He just played that. Do you think he brings out the 3 ladies in this match?
I could see him running Golem again, actually.
Golem again.
The fact that he can play either Golem or 3 Musketeers with the Elixir Collector might prevent his opponent from kind of seeing into the deck before he gets a chance to kind of fully feel out all the different cards that are in there. I think that Golem and 3 Musketeers they're both great cards to kind of hold in the pocket, not really showing them too early what you're running. Make him guess. For the whole time. And we also saw last week players going back and running the same deck game after game in order to try to just specialize with one specific type of deck and then go for the kill. With the ban system, you are kind of locked out of hopping around too much because there's fewer options that you can switch to, right?
Yeah.
After the first ban card, okay, I can't play that. So you kind of default back to maybe your second or third favorite deck. But then do you really want to swap to your fourth or fifth favorite deck? Why don't you just play what works? I think for DK that worked really well last time.
Yeah, it did. I mean, you're definitely right. You saw just in the first matchup today, just one same deck, both games, 2 wins. Check it off. Check it off. Just try me the check. I'll take it. I'll cash it. 2-0. Don't need to do anything, you know. But sometimes when you do that, though, they are waiting for it to happen. Let's get into match number 2. Donkey Kong versus Louie.
Alrighty, Rooney.
Alrighty, Rooney.
And Louie. Yep, here's the pump from Louie. Is DK got the same? No, he's going to try to punish.
Oh,
moving in with the bandit and minions up top.
Oh, he's going to get blocked this time by the Ice Golem.
Yeah, freezes up those minions, and that's hardly any damage on the left side whatsoever. Louie with the fantastic defense. 4 Elixir shuts down the 8 Elixir push that DK set up. And he only took 1 little minion swipe on the left lane. Lots of juice to play around with. Louie is going to start off with a bandit of his own.
Yeah, Fire Spirit's coming out on the left. Ooh, she just gets smacked by those Fire Spirits, sitting a little bit too close to the tower there. Fire Spirits do splash damage.
Dude, you said it again. You just said doo-doo. Aloe Vera needed for that burn. Big left side hit from the Fire Spirits, but Louie's got plenty of juice to play around with, getting it down to 1684 on the left, and he'll soak some more damage now with the Ice Golem popping. Getting the hit off against those little minis. Finally, DK cycles into his Elixir Collector. Kind of an interesting choice here. What big card do you think he's got back in his deck?
I don't know, but he's going to need to stop this Bat. Bat doing so much damage. Bandit coming in on the left-hand side. She's going to say yes today. That's going to be a tower for Louie.
1-0 lead for Louie, and DK's in a lot of trouble. Wow,
what a log.
Yeah, nice timing on that log. Gets the connection at the left side. Bats and Barbarians, I think, are just like the killer combo in CCGS. So many times we've seen them locking onto towers, whether they're coming out on their own or being spawned by a Night Witch. Barbarians are just such a great way to block when they're right on the tower. Battle Ram going hard and fast. We haven't seen a spell yet from Louie, and DK is making a pretty ballsy move here. He's playing both Elixir Collectors right next to each other. If there is a Fireball in Louie's deck, he's going to be able to punish hard, but not seeing one, it looks like he's going to be able to play to the advantage over there. Lots of juice to play around with, and with the Muskies coming out next, DK could be going for a big counter push here.
Yeah, the Musketeers. There's 2 gorgeous ladies on the right that are still alive, full of health. Ooh. He does have the pump. Here comes the Battle Ram on the left. The Bandit's coming on the right. Fire Spirits are going to do a lot of damage to the Bandit, but it's not going to finish her off.
Muskies of his own. Louie on defense here now. 1 goes on the left lane and prevents that tower from going down. A counterattack from Louie is giving DK a lot to worry about. But still, he needs 550 more damage on the left side in the next 24 seconds, or this thing can't even go to overtime.
No, 21 seconds left. Can he do it in time? But the beautifully played Zap.
Oh, the Muskie getting that lock brings the tower down to triple digits, and I'm pretty sure that Louie would be comfortable going into double elixir time, into overtime. He's pretty far ahead, and I think that this last Whisper push stopped by the Elixir Collector. Just enough juice to play around with in the good game well played from Louie. It's a 1-0 victory for him.
I think Donkey Kong's Bandit said no to him today because Louie is definitely connected.
What a tease. Keeps saying no to everyone. Unfortunate. I'm sorry about that, Enchan. You must be really identifying with DK right now. A 1-1 draw between these 2 players. The best of 3 will be decided. Oh, no. That was actually a win there for our esteemed friend on the bottom. We've got a 1-1 draw right now.
Yes, 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong?
Yeah.
He went to his Three Musketeers, which is kind of one of the decks that, he's known for. Louie kind of plays Three Musketeers as well. Not surprised that they went into a Three Musketeer clash off there. Game number 3, probably going to see something different out of these two. Do you think we're going to see any log bait at all? I mean, it kind of has been obsolete so far in the tournament.
I don't think we're going to see it from DK. He definitely loves playing those big old heavy decks, hitting hard. And with Louie also playing Elixir Collector, could very viably be just another big old brawl in the arena.
Big old brawl.
Why don't we see some more battle rams? They were getting a lot of value in that last game. Show us what we've got here. Battle ram marching down the left side, reaches the tower, and one little bat surviving.
And then the bandit coming out of left field to the tower. That's going to be, nothing, just like I said, nothing's better when bandit on the tower, battle ram connecting. You just had 2 of those in one replay.
Yep.
That's value.
Is muy bueno, much value, mucho value.
Muy bueno?
Well, it's muy bueno. It's very,
Very good.
That's what it was, yeah.
Very value.
Hey, we call Three Musketeers the win condition of that deck, but I don't think a single Three Musketeers was necessary for Louie to tear that left lane down.
No,
He was in the mirror match,
Yeah.
and he just played with his support cards a little bit better.
Yeah, the support cards, and if your battle ram connects and your bandit comes in to finish it off, what are the musketeers for? They're the support. The battle ram's the beatdown.
Yeah.
There it is.
They were there for the double elixir time. They were both getting played a little bit toward the end there, but before then, it's kind of hard to justify playing a big old 9-cost card in single elixir time. They really do shine in the later stages of the game.
Well, Three Musketeer players usually either A, wait for 2 pumps, or a double elixir time to even drop Three Musketeers. So if you already lose your tower in single elixir time, you got to work on the defense. Yeah, it's one of those. He kind of probably got out of cycle there, and just when he got that zap, I think he thought his Goblin Gang was going to do enough to protect it, but beautifully timed zap there from Louie was able to steal that game.
What did you think of the Fire Spirits choice there from Donkey Kong? They can work pretty well against Minion Horde, but I haven't seen them a whole lot in competitive play.
I just feel like without the Goblin Gang from Louie,
Goblin going for the King Tower. DK gets it activated early. The oops from Louie. He realized the mistake in that early play. Now, he's not completely out of it, but you can see down there in the face cam, he's not too happy about that misplay. Gangstar's player from Germany is going to have an uphill battle against DK, Nova player from France.
Bandit. Wow.
Get the catch quickly enough. Knight tries to soak that bandit, but isn't there in time. And Louie has made 2 big mistakes back-to-back. DK's punishing by pumping it up.
Yeah, DK's just so composed. The great rocket from Louie there. Donkey Kong needs to play whatever he has now.
DK's getting to 10 elixir, and Louie is still only at 5. That's a lot of juice to play around with. He is going to punish with 3 Musketeers.
This is going to be the game. Can Louie somehow defend this triple muskie push? I don't know how.
How could he? Yeah, Battle Ram at the left side to try to support this attack, but Inferno Tower's not going to be enough. Battle Ram already moving on in, gets the connection there, and we've got a pretty good defense out the right lane. Muskies are able to take it down to triple digits. But that really hurt a lot. Louie now recovering, still down about 3 drops of elixir, though, against DK.
Yeah, DK, I guess he's going to just try to cycle pumps in front of his King Tower, get them rocketed down, and worry about double elixir time when his deck really, really shines. Knight, though, great defense versus a bandit.
Good job. Yeah, I like that. It is a little unfortunate to see that King Tower activated, especially against a log bait deck, which relies upon getting lots of troops kind of swarming over on that tower. Oh, nice Ice Spirit there from Louie.
And just like that, he's right back in the game.
Just like that. Log rolls through that
It didn't really do much. Yeah, it didn't really do much.
It rolled through the goblins that were out back. It kept the princess alive for a little bit longer. But you're right. DK could be in trouble here if... Oh! Gets the stab in for the goblins. Nice hit, Louie.
Oh, wow.
Splash onto the Elixir Collector, too. The later stages of this game have really been... Oh, we missed the Musketeer there. That's really bad. Oh, I was about to say he's turning this thing around, but this is not a good position.
And he hits the Fire Spirits, though.
Value Fire Spirits.
Bandit.
Oh! Gets the hit on the right side. Princess to block a bandit couldn't quite get the job done.
I mean, that's why you picked the bandit over the princess.
Yeah. But Louie's got Rocket in hand. He only needs a little bit more damage out the right side. Donkey Kong does not have a big spell in his deck, so if Louie can just hold off on defense a little bit longer, he might actually get the win here.
Yeah, one more. I mean,
another log rocket will get the job done, but can he keep this big attack off? It's do or die now for Louie. Last chance to get the win. Log rolls in, and the Musketeer connects.
He had 10 elixir there. You should have just dropped the entire family. Drop your second cousin on the right-hand side, block it, then just throw out a desperation log rocket and hope it doesn't kill you in time on the left.
Yeah, a little bit of a choke there from Louie, unfortunate, but that means that DK's moving up. He's got his 5th win now and is going to be stabbing up at Lupanji and Baron, trying to get into the top 6.
Yeah, this is what Donkey Kong needed to get on top. If you're going to have a name like Donkey Kong the King, you're going to need to win matches like that, especially when the matches, you only have 18. It's starting to get, you know, to the end of your run. But just like that, Donkey Kong, 2-1. 2-1.
Oh, what's that?
What?
I heard that the viewers like battle rams. You like some battle rams, guys? Well, let's get another battle ram moving on the right side. Blocks for this Musketeer. She gets the lock and pops it down. Great move by DK at the end to get the GG, and he seals the deal with that 2-1.
Seals the deal and seals his place up. I think he's in 7th now. He's on the cusp of breaking into the blue, which the top 6, guys, is going to get you into the double elimination bracket for the full final. So in 7th, you go home with 3,000.
He's on the bubble.
He's on the bubble.
He's right below. He's trying to break up into there. Let's see what our friends back on the stage think of our current standings.
Thanks very much, Woody. Yeah, it seems to be that Battle Ram was a bit of a fan favorite in that matchup. And Donkey Kong, it's a personal favorite of mine. It's great to see him getting back on track. But another fan favorite player who's got an important match later on today is a man called Surgical Goblin. So we thought we'd take a moment to have a look at the player, learn a little bit more about him. And I can't think of anyone better than one of his teammates. This guy is the captain of the Israeli Clash Royale Worlds team. He's going to be competing up there. He got top 16 at Gamergy Masters as well. So please welcome to the Crown Championship, Rom. Thanks very much for joining me, man. Take a seat, take a seat. All right, Rom, thank you very much for joining us here.
Yeah,
so, Gamergy, you got into the top 16 there. Can you tell me a little bit about the Gamergy tournament itself, how you got on there?
Well, so I flew with my teammates from Team Castle there. There was a lot of great players from all over the world there, like Azelis and Jigsaw and Soaking and others. So basically, in the first day, we needed to do 7 best of 5s, and the top 16 made it to the next day, where we do another set of best of 5s, and I achieved it.
You feel like you dropped the ball a little bit. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, I made 6 wins and 1 loss. I was very happy about that.
Yeah, that's good to hear, man. It's good to hear. But we're talking a little bit about Surgical Goblin today. Obviously, one of your teammates is doing very well in the tournament, even won the spring tournament. But what are some of the other accolades that Surgical Goblin has kind of accrued over the years without actually, when we're not looking at the Crown Championship, shall we say?
Well, so I remember back in the day in October, I think 2016, in the first WC. So I remember there when no one really know him, he achieved the 2nd place.
He was on Hammers Esports at the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he achieved 2nd place there, which was a very big achievement. And then in the next WC, he got the 1st place, and now like in the Gamescom in September, he got 1st place as well.
Didn't he play against Soaking in that one? I swear it was Surgical Goblin Soaking.
Yeah, the final was Soaking against Surgical Goblin, and Surgical Goblin 3-0'd Soaking.
Not a very good precedent to set, but Soaking's beaten him since then, though. He had their first match earlier on in the season. Soaking got the best of 3 victory over him with that one, which is good to see. But Surgical Goblin, he's been quite a dominant player. And one of the key decks that people identify that he plays a lot, it's obviously log bait. But nowadays, everyone's playing log bait. So has Surge kind of set the tone for the meta, or is there something else with that deck?
Well, I think that the good thing about the log bait is there's not a really specific deck that counters it. you can always bait the log or the arrows or the poison or whatever counters it, and then get the goblin bar or the sneaky goblins to get to the tower. And Surgical Goblin really knows how to do it. You can see that even in hard matchups, he can know how to top on his opponent and get the goblins to the tower or the rocket or whatever needed.
Well, it sounds like with Surgical Goblin's obviously a good player. Team Queso has surrounded itself with a lot of talented players, though. Like yourself, there's Adrian Piedro over in Latin America, and there's a couple of other players in North America as well. What's it like being a part of Team Queso as an organization?
Well, it's a great organization for sure. We have a lot of training and we have a lot of friendly environment. I will speak to each other and train together, speak about strategies. So it's really nice being there.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. It's always helpful to have a team environment. I think that's something that really needs to come into Clash Royale more, is more of these players getting involved with these teams, because I really think it does give you guys an edge having that support system in place.
Yeah, for sure.
And Surgical Goblin obviously benefits from that as well. He did when he was on Hammers. But I want to kind of prime the Surgical Goblin Soaking matchup, because I've been excited for this for weeks now, ever since Soaking took that victory. Do you think there's anything in that matchup that could give either of them an edge?
Well, there is a new meta, just an update yesterday. So I think those who will know how to master the new cards, the new maybe powerful cards, will be the one to win this match. We already seen Soaking in the first match today, playing with Graveyard, which is a deck we didn't see for a long time. So I think that playing with those new cards, with the Graveyard or, I don't know, the Lightning got nerfed, so we probably won't see it, but the other cards that got buffed, so it should be good.
What about Surgical Goblin Soaking specifically? Is there any difference between the two players, do you think, in terms of either play style or attitude towards the game or just mentality?
Well, the good thing I see about Surgical Goblin, which I don't see in a lot of players, that he's really calm. Like, I see a lot of players get stressed, even myself, and it's only normal to get stressed. Every time I see Surgical Goblin players, it always looks like he's calm, like he doesn't make any stupid mistake because he knows what to do, he controls the game sometimes. But Soaking was in a lot of live tournaments as well, like the LVPs that they won like 2 days ago.
A 3-0 victory.
Yeah, against Team Heretics.
Yeah.
And I think both of them have these calm attitudes that can benefit them in the game.
Yeah, that sounds great, because I think that I've definitely looking at Surge's play account when he plays. He doesn't really seem to express, or seem to not really express, but doesn't really seem to be affected by any mistakes that he rarely makes.
Yeah.
Which is quite a good trait to have, to just be able to remain focused on that game. In terms of the matches today, like you mentioned, Soaking's already played that Graveyard, got a victory with it. Graveyard
And even Sparky.
And Sparky as well. So Sparky quite excited about, because I think everyone loves to see what has been heralded as a rolling trash can suddenly become meta with a few creative plays from certain players. Knowing that Graveyard has been played by Soaking and put to good use, do you think that Surge would have anything prepared for that, like adapting on the fly, or would he just stick to his own game plan, knowing him?
Well, I think he will stick to his own game plan, only because Soaking can change his deck too. Soaking knows how to play a lot of decks, and Surgical as well. So I think they're going to play with each other, like psychologically, to see what the other use. And
I mean, I'm sure they're good friends outside of the game as well, so they're working, so I'm sure they have a lot of fun with these matches. But thanks very much for joining us, Rom. I really appreciate your insight into Team Queso, and good luck in any future Clash Royale Champions
thank you.
competitions you have. But we're going to throw it back to Woody and Chatton to bring you the next couple of matches.
Thanks, Trid. Next matchup, we're going to see Surgical Goblin himself versus Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong just getting that victory. Now he's got to go up against Surgical Goblin. Not an easy task, but one that he needs to master and achieve in order to really get himself in a very strong position, get that 6 coveted win, and I think he might actually jump into the blue or be tied with the 6 win, players that are there with this win over Surgical Goblin. It's Surgical Goblin.
On the other hand, though, Surgical Goblin in second place now, right behind Soaking. Soaking got that 10th win earlier, and Surge is looking to tie it up again against him. He needs to get the victory here against DK, and he's done it before. These guys are veterans of the spring season. They've played against each other many, many times. Let's take a look at the bans here. It looks like we've got Elixir Collector being banned from DK and Ewiz from Surgical Goblin.
Yeah, Electro Wizard, even though the 4% damage nerf again in the 0.2 seconds on the initial hit, still, these players don't want to deal with that card. That just shows you how much support it provides and how much utility it really offers for a plethora of decks in this game. We're not going to see that in this matchup. Surgical Goblin, what do you think he goes to now with these bans? Does, just like you said, just like Trid was mentioning earlier, log bait, does he go to that log bait style, or does Surgical Goblin show us something that we've never seen before and utilize
That's
the new
what I'm expecting to see from him. We've seen so many different decks coming in from Surgical Goblin. He even managed to win with a Mortar Bowler Ice Wizard deck, if you can recall.
I know, you were like,
I was excited about that. I know, I was right. And you can copy decks now, too. I don't know if you realize this. In Clash Royale, the last update introduced a new copy deck feature. I'm really looking forward to making advantage of that, especially because these quests are asking me to play so many weird different cards. I got a quest today to play Goblin Barrel Heal Spell in the same deck and win 3 times. I didn't even know if that was possible.
Did you win 3 times?
I actually canceled out that quest. I was like, I'm not going to play this one. You can cancel 1 quest per day if you're not interested in playing that specific one. But having lots of different quests available, or decks available to you, will make it a lot easier to get the wins there.
Ooh, Mega Knight.
He gets close, but Surge holds on to the defense. Soaking a Miner, though. It's going to get over... Jeez, what is that? 600-700 damage on the left side tower just from the Miner alone.
That's a lot of damage. Here comes the Hog Rider with the log. The Bandit. She could swing all she wants, but she does not do that much damage without her dash.
And Surge is happy as a hog with a log. Look at that. Tower now down to 1646 on DK's side. Surge is also really super well known for being able to get the tower down exactly as time runs out. He has got the math all figured out ahead of time and knows exactly when he needs to get the damage in. He's not pressured at all. He's super happy, I think, in this position right now against a relatively kind of mid-range deck that DK has. It's not super heavy or super light, but wow, big commitment from Surge. We've got 3 Musketeers moving on in here now.
Yeah, the 3 ladies. 1 lady on the left going to easily take out this Inferno Dragon. The poison, though, going to do chip, chip, chip. Oh, Hog Rider's going to get in front.
Wow, Surge punishing the misplay of that poison. Didn't quite get all of the Musketeers, and he's going to get some damage off it on the right side. Lone Muskie on the left gets taken down by minions, but minions as well over on the right. Going to get some chip damage off against this big old Mega Knight.
Ugh, the Mega Knight
Dude,
getting
is he even going to
frozen.
get the jump?
No.
Wow! Surge has got to be really happy with that. 4 elixir counter drops that Mega Knight cold. Pardon the pun with the Ice Spirit there. But minions get the killing blow. A lot of damage by those guys. Great defense once again against the Miner. And a Hog Rider Ice Golem combo moving to the right. It's going to be able to connect. Hog Rider gets in there for 1 swing, 2 swings even. But look out for the big old ground-based push coming in from DK. What do we got in chatting?
We got a pull, maybe. No. Musketeers freeze. Oh, the 3 Musketeers gonna clear it out. Oh, Miner coming out here. Musketeer still alive defending, but Surgical Goblin is not in a position he wants to be in. Mega Knights keep on dropping from the sky on the right hand, on the left hand side. Here it is from Surgical. Is there going to be? Ooh.
Surge gets a lot of
him.
chip damage over to the right side. Looks like DK happy to soak a little bit of Miner Musketeer hits in order to try to generate an elixir advantage. But DK oppressive with these poisons, has not been letting anything come through unharmed. Poison at the left lane is his preferred lane of attack, but DK's gonna have to defend the right side now. Hog Rider gets the hit in. Ooh, nice log play from Surge. Is gonna almost get the Musketeer to connect. Zap finishes her off, and that push is dead on arrival. We still got Mega Knight, Inferno Dragon, minions sweeping through the right side. He's almost going to get the jump.
Inferno
Can't quite
Dragon.
get there. Oh, nice block from Surge, but I don't know how long this thing can hold off. That's a nice Miner hit out the left for DK, and he's actually ahead in damage right now.
Yeah, Hog Rider coming in on the right, just trying to get some damage off Ice Spirit. Hog Rider gonna get off 2 shots.
Wow, he does. Great strike for Surgical Goblin. Only has 2 light spells, the Zap and the Log spell, both costing 2 elixir, so he can't finish off that right side just yet. DK's got a chance to turn things around here, and he's gonna get the Mega Knight over on the left lane. That's his preferred side of attack, but he's gonna stop the Hog Rider.
It's over. You can't stop this Hog.
You can't stop the Hog. He gets 1 swing in, and you're right in chatting. Finishes that right side tower off, and a big push still left on the left lane. DK, without enough time to be able to tear it down, means Surge gets the 1-0 victory in this first game.
Yeah, Hog with a log with the bacon strips. Beautifully played. Surgical Goblin maneuvering around the Mega Knight, clobbering his Musketeers, sneaking his Hog Rider through on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, knew to switch lanes from his tower that was getting pummeled, making Donkey Kong drop his Mega Knight on the Hog Rider on his strong side tower. That way, he wasn't able to really generate enough on the left to finish Surgical Goblin's tower, which only had about 1,000 damage there for the last minute of that game.
Yeah. You know what, Chen? The overall impressions from the games that I've been seeing recently are that the top players are making great use out of decks that have multiple win conditions, running both Hog Rider and 3 Musketeers, for example, in that last match. Or, as before, 3 Musketeers, but not even getting the connection on the tower. It was, I think, the Bandit and the Goblin gang that got it before. Let's take a quick look at the end of this game where DK trying to utilize this Mega Knight going in on the left side to get the tower down, but just runs out of defense. Hog Rider gets the one swing, and that's all he needed to finish off the tower.
Yeah, that's it. That's all he needs. One swing, one zap. And the Mega Knight, even though it's great on defense versus Hog Riders and everything like that, it gets distracted so easily by everything. Also, it doesn't hit air. Minions easily clear it up. And it's not like it's a P.E.K.K.A. where if you even drop anything remotely close to it, it's going to clobber it down. And then you still have, you know, a push coming behind it where you can, you know, really push. Donkey Kong just wasn't able to formulate enough of a push at the end of that match. With that Mega Knight, I would have liked to see him maybe switch lanes there and go on the side where the Mega Knight was spawning to stop the Hog Riders. Donkey Kong, unfortunately, just not able to close out that game.
That's an interesting dynamic that you bring up, the difference between Mega Knight and P.E.K.K.A. They're both big, heavy, ground-based troops. Both cost 7 elixir, but they work a little bit differently. P.E.K.K.A. prefers to just go after one target, while the Mega Knight, jumping around all over the place dealing splash damage, can deal with those big swarm-type decks a little bit better. And Chen, what are the sort of decks that you would build in which you would prefer to use P.E.K.K.A. over Mega Knight?
Well, I wouldn't really say prefer to build a deck like that. I would say what you're going against really determines it. If you're going against a lot of goblin gangs, a lot of goblins, you know, a lot of little cheap swarmy units, Mega Knight thrives in that. That's why it does so well versus a log bait type of deck that relies on, you know, goblin gang to really do all the damage once you have your log out of cycle. But guess what? Clobbering time happens. You can kill all those goblins in one swing with a Mega Knight, opposed to a P.E.K.K.A. where if you're playing versus log bait with a P.E.K.K.A., you start swinging at one goblin. Guess what? You're going to have 4 other ones, his brothers, that you have to go through as well. So, you know, it's mainly against the deck that you play against, more so than the deck that you would create with them.
Well, let's see how this next game starts off. Surge rolls a log through the Gobos, and that's a 2-for-2 trade in his advantage, able to get 96 damage peeled off that right side tower. DK counterattacks with an Inferno Dragon.
Inferno Dragon in the back, cycling that means he had absolutely nothing. We're going to see a Dark Goblin by Surgical Goblin. Could we see an interesting deck? Miner.
Nice catch by Surge. The Goblins are able to prevent that Miner from connecting, and he'll add on to that push. Hog Rider going to the left lane. We got another Mega Knight coming on in from DK to stop it. No damage action on the left side tower thanks to those minions helping out.
Yeah, beautiful Mega Knight drop. Shuts down the Hog Rider, and Surgical Goblin with an Inferno Dragon once again. A journey to the other side of the arena is going to be the Mega Knight's journey. Wow, look at this. Did he play it on the right-hand side? I forgot already.
I can't remember. I feel like that Mega Knight's been wandering around forever.
And he's going to get a huge jump on the tower.
Surge suffering a ton of damage. Uncharacteristically poor defense out the right lane. Over 1,000 damage on the right side tower, going down to half hit points now. Wow. DK has gotten that thing down to triple digits already. And Surge trying to punish on the left brings the tower down to 1682, but DK's got to be really happy about the opening he just got from Surge.
Yeah, Donkey Kong, here's the situation that we were just talking about. With his Mega Knight, he only has to go through an Ice Golem, then what, a Dark Goblin and Goblins? They both get clobbered down easily one shot by the Mega Knight. There's no need to have a P.E.K.K.A. in that situation, and the mobility of the Mega Knight there, as you just saw, the jumping around, that tower's already down to 758. It doesn't need to wait to waddle to the tower as slow as a P.E.K.K.A. It could jump from 4 tiles away.
You're right about that, but DK's got to finish this thing off the old-fashioned way. I don't expect him to get another big Mega Knight hit on that tower, but he still needs to keep up the pressure. We haven't seen a big spell from him yet, and it's kind of an interesting strategic choice that these players have been going for up at the top, not running a big old fireball or rocket or lightning or poison or anything like that, just relying on cheap spells like Zap and the Log. But it's another quick attack from Surge on the left side. He might even be able to get this Hog Rider in. 1 swing, 2 swing, swing, swing. Are the All-American rejects playing in here? Or what is going on? Because the Hog Rider just hit that tower hard, and Surge is now ahead.
Yeah, right-hand side. What a catch by Surgical Goblin, but the Bandit. Oh, that's...
Nothing to stop her, though. She dashes in, and the tower goes down. DK is ahead. 1-0 against Surgical Goblin. With only 10 seconds left, he's got to hit hard on the left side. Is he got a fireball?
Yeah,
is he going to finish off the left side
yeah.
tower? All right. Does have the fireball. But the Inferno Dragon locks onto the minions. Buying that Mega Knight a little bit of time here. Donkey Kong and Surge relatively even on damage overall, but DK with the field advantage right now. Oh, he might get this Bandit on tower. No. Stopped short by an Ice Golem, and Surge is happy to soak a little bit of damage on the King there. He'd prefer to take damage there than to just allow his left side to get whomped.
Dark Goblin gonna get a little bit of chip.
Spit, spit, spit. Right side down to 1166. Double Inferno Dragon from Surge. He loves the Inferno Dragon now.
Ooh, bats, though, are just gonna get cleared out by the boys, and Surge gotta be shaking his head about that.
Unfortunate, but I think that it means that DK is going for a much more safe approach to that left side getting cleared out. He's not going for a big hit from it. He's just trying to whittle it down with spells.
Yeah.
I guess Minor Poison's a really good win condition. It doesn't necessarily fit the deck that we've seen from DK so far. Stabs down the Dark Goblin, and it looks like he's just going to keep on trying to get that pressure in. Bandit dashes the Goblins, though. Can't reach to the tower. Surge is just dumping all he's got on defense now.
Yeah, he's going to go all in, and there it is.
Wow, nice hit there. I actually thought that the attack was backwards, but he got that Ice Golem to soak hits for the tower. And this Inferno Dragon could get value if she goes for the... nope. Not going to be able to hit that Mega Knight, but I think that she's going to survive after all. And a second Inferno Dragon coming on in to burn him up.
The Inferno Dragon cycle Ice going with a Hog Rider. The Zap was just used.
Nothing to stop this Hog, though. He's going to get 1 swing, 2 swings. The Log prevents Donkey Kong from playing any Goblins on the back end, and that is a ton of damage for Surge. He is pulling ahead now. Overtime has only got just about a minute left. Can DK punish? Oh, he almost got that Bandit on the left side tower, but the block from that Hog was looking good. DK going for the ultimate punish, though. Drops everything he's got on his opponent's side of the arena. Can he get the connection in there? Yes, he can! Goblins get the stab off, and that is a win for Donkey Kong!
Oh my god, he had the Dark Goblin hitting the tower. Oh my, Surge tried to sneak a Dark Goblin in. Oh my, wow.
Play of the game by DK. Saw that he had just enough time to get 1 more hit in there, even with the Dark Goblin going wild on that right side. 27 hit points separated Surge from that clean 2-0 sweep and from having to go into a tiebreaker. It's a 1-1 draw between one of the top-ranked players, Surgical Goblin, and someone fighting to survive. DK is up against the wall, but he is punching back. And Chatton, what are we going to see in this final game?
Oof, I don't know, but we're about to watch the replay of Donkey Kong unloading everything he has on Surgical Goblin towards the end here, just trying to get some damage off. He knows Fireball Hog would probably kill him, but look at the Dark Goblin coming out here, just trying.
Can't get it there quickly enough. Nice defense from Donkey Kong. Tower is able to take that thing out before it gets the damage that he needs, and just an unfortunate exchange there. It looks like Surge added on some bats at the very end to try to just get 1 more little tiny hit off. But Binder got the job done. I think that that was a great punish move by Donkey Kong. He recognized that Surge was low on elixir, that he might have been kind of, angling to try to get that last little bit of damage off the right side. And it was either defend and hope and pray that you can survive against the next attack, or just put it all on the line, dump it on the table, and just go for the win. DK did it, and it paid off this time. Can he do it again, though, against one of the best players in the world?
It's going to be tough. How can you judge One is Surgical Goblin, right? He has won pretty much everything that he's gone to in the past, I would say, year. The only thing he's lost was the first ESWC that he's ever gone to, and he came in second. So, Surgical Goblin, unbelievable player. Donkey Kong, though, he has the potential to win. I mean, you saw it, I believe, in the spring where he did take down... Did he take down Surgical Goblin once? I think he took a game off of him. I don't think he took a series. But now he's coming back, and you know what? I'm going to say he's going to topple Surgical Goblin and bring Surgical Goblin down, keeping... We got Soaking already with 10 wins.
Soaking would love to see that. Yeah, he needs his partner to take a loss if he's going to get top 2.
Yeah, they are best friends, but if you're Soaking here, Donkey Kong. Yeah, but you gotta keep it low, though. You know, you can't.
Not loud enough for anyone else on Queso to hear.
Yeah,
but hey, Donkey Kong is known for his reverse sweeps. That's what he's been able to pull off time and time again. He never gives up. He is an absolute beast, a machine of a player. And
is he a beast?
Oh yeah.
Is he like a Donkey Kong?
Of course he is. He's like a beat in his chest. You've seen him before, right? You've seen the pictures in chat and Shirley. I think that, like we said earlier on the main stage, Surgical Goblin is the type of player who keeps his cool. Donkey Kong is just the same way. All focused, both of these guys ready to duke it out for the final game of this match.
Do we see Graveyard?
Possibly, and Ice Golem just right at the back to cycle.
Goblin Gang.
It's possible, man.
Log left
Burn
side.
the log out in the left lane, but he's going to have to deal with the Spear Goblin on the right side. He's firmly behind Ice Golem.
Hog Rider in the back of Eternity.
Yeah.
That's
kind of a weird play. They're both going on the big offensive play here. They both get 2 Hog Strikes on the tower, but looks like DK is a little bit ahead in damage. Not too much to start with here. I think that minions over bats could put DK in a more comfortable position, though.
Well, the good thing about Surgical Goblin is he has Log over Zap, so he's going to be able to clear out the Goblin Gang, and the Zap doesn't have to worry about bats.
Rolled the log and got all of the gang down, but didn't get that last side hit. And we see DK running a Hog Rider 3 Muskie deck. Again, this deck performs very well because it has multiple ways of getting the win. Hog Rider blocking for this last little Muskie in the back. He's going to get a swing or 2 in there. Muskie on the left side, meanwhile, is just popping that tower down.
Only had an Inferno Dragon to deal with it. Not what Surgical Goblin wanted to answer that.
He needs a massive punish here, and it doesn't look like he's committing to this push at all. Surgical Goblin with the Inferno Tower is burning up the right side Ice Golem, but that's a good defense. Oh, no. Unlucky log from Surge. He was expecting a ground-based defense, but the bats finish those minions off. That's a lot of damage on the left, and oops from Donkey Kong as he soaks over 1,000 hit points off the left side. That one's gonna hurt in the morning. DK's got to go for the 2 crown, but it could be done. Right side for Surge down to triple digits, and that left lane is not too healthy either.
Yeah, this is going to be a close one. Archers on the right-hand side from Surgical Goblin. Here comes a Hog Rider on the left from Donkey Kong.
Ice Golem the block. He knows he's got to go for the 2 crown here. Fireball misses the minions, and that's going to hurt. Left side is going to take it. 2 swings, wow. And DK knows he's got to get a 3 Musketeer split up to go against both of these towers. He might just wind up soaking this.
He misses the Hog!
Ouch. That's got to hurt. You know, you got to play the mind games with your opponent and try to get that Goblin Gang to get some value on defense. The log rolling straight through it, though. Surge was definitely prepared. Log rolls through the right, and I think that tower's going down. Surge has got to turn this thing around now.
Log coming out on the right-hand side. It's not going to clip the Ice Spear, but the Hog Rider's going,
down to 471, not quite within fireball range, but Surgical Goblin is definitely ahead, and he's got to close this game out strong. Going into Surgical Goblin's preferred mode, we got double elixir time sudden death, and this Hog Rider might be able to finish things off. Knocks it off, though, with a log in his app.
No,
Fireball for the win.
Oh, man. Donkey Kong. So close.
So close, couldn't quite pull it off there. But what an amazing match between Surge and Donkey Kong. These guys were really at the ropes. Final moments trying to get the kill in. Surge edges ahead. I really wish that had gone to a 3-crown game. That would have been an amazing 2-2 draw to see go to a 3-crown, wouldn't it?
I felt like I was in a Rocky movie. Blows back and forth, right and left. Whew. Crazy matches.
Who was Rocky in that?
Who was Rocky? You got to say it was Surgical Goblin. He was down and came out ahead.
Wait, didn't Rocky just get beat up, though?
Yeah, he does. I mean, he almost lost that entire game. He was getting destroyed.
I think DK was the Rocky there because he gets beat up. He's walking away.
Surgical Goblin took
his head
that
held
hop.
high, but he couldn't get the win. Let's see some Inferno Dragons in chat. You want to see some Inferno Dragons?
I would love to see some Inferno Dragons, Woody.
Your wish has been granted.
Oh, it has been. Ooh. The Inferno Dragon's going to take out the left-hand side tower. It's going to get untouched. And just like that, look at that. Roasting the left-hand side. No answer from Donkey Kong. And just like that, we said who was going to win, Bats or Minions. Bats took the victory today.
Yeah. Minions usually get the win, though. They can one-shot the Bats. You know, the Bats get a nice little swarm effect going on there, but the Minions are pretty tanky, and they take quite a few hits for those Bats to take them down. Victory there, I'm going to attribute to better Hog Rider play from Surgical Goblin.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely better Hog Rider play. Just that last push when he put the Hog in the middle, got that first shot. He had to waste Zap as well to stop it, just to defend just the last hit. Otherwise, the game would have been over there. Just wasn't able to really cycle Hogs fast enough on Donkey Kong's end to really punish Surge. He was ahead in damage pretty much the entire game. Had right side tower down low, left side tower down low. Problem is, you have a right side tower low, you have a left side tower low, and you already lost the tower. You kind of got to take a tower, and you got to waste all your elixir to take one, because if you don't take a tower in this game and you already lost one, guess what? You're going to walk with your head down 1-0.
Fireworks were blazing that last match, guys. DK has got another one to play before the night is out. I'm really kind of curious what's been going through his mind recently. Why don't we hear a little bit from the man himself?
I'm Samir, I'm from France, and in Clash Royale my name is Donkey Kong.
Pounding his chest, look at that beast!
When I was young, living in France, I enjoy playing soccer and Clash Royale are very similar. You have to respond really fast to your opponent's moves and think about how to win. I'm a defensive player. At the beginning of the battle, I want to know what type of decks my opponent plays. And when I figure out what type of decks is playing, I try to become more aggressive and beat it.
Yes! Donkey Kong gets it! Oh my god!
When I was in secondary school, I learned to swim because my teacher pushes me in the water. That day was very scary, but I learned a big lesson. Even if something seems impossible to you, if you try it with all your heart, you can succeed.
Donkey Kong for the victory! Look at that man standing strong.
Ice Law, Lupanji coming up next. Donkey Kong pounding his chest there. But unfortunately falling up short in that matchup versus Surgical Goblin. Ice Law, Lupanji, what are your thoughts on this match, Woody?
Ice Law and Lupanji are both players who are making their way toward the top, trying to get into the top two. I think Ice Law's got a slightly better chance, but these are guys who are pretty well firmly cemented in the top six. It would take a big losing streak from either one of them to get kicked down. Lupanji with a 6-5 record right now, however, would like to solidify his position. Ice Law, the Team Kesso guy, going up against another really strong player. Now, if we take a look back in time, if we go to day 2, you'll recall that Ice Law got the victory there. He was able to win with Balloon and Inferno Dragon banned. He's banning Balloon again, but this time Lupanji's going for E-Wiz. What does that mean in chat?
E-Wizard, no Electro Wizard, no balloons. That means we're not going to have much minor aerial assaults. Maybe a little bit less Mega Knight gameplay coming out here, because Mega Knight really thrives well with the minor. And the balloon as well, that minor balloon deck. I feel like maybe we're going to see a... We're playing.
It's a tough
see, the
question.
Problem is it's Lupanji.
I'm putting your feet to the fire right now.
You're asking me versus Lupanji.
But we could see maybe Sparky again.
Sparky.
Yeah, Sparky or Graveyard. We'd love to see those win conditions since they've been improved a little bit. Have an
Mortar
opportunity.
Mortar Yard.
Ooh.
Didn't he play it in Mortar Yard?
He did play before. I didn't get the win with it, but maybe the changes to Graveyard make him feel a little bit more, you know, confident with that deck type.
Yeah, he might, you know, take a little dip in the water, if you might say.
Yeah, just drop his toes in, check the temperature.
Well, he's going to need to check the temperature because he's going to need to beat Islaw in order to jump in front of him.
Islaw.
Islaw.
With the bandit. I don't know. I wasn't. Is it Islaw or Islaw?
I think it's Islaw.
Islaw. Like an iPad. It's got a little,
I think it's got
lowercase
like
I.
lowercase I.
Slaw. We got a big old Inferno Dragon moving in. Both players spent 7 elixir, but I think Islaw is going to be able to burn up this Mega Knight. No, we got bats to distract. Oh, good sap there, but I think that the Mega Knight almost got a chance to move in there, kited away.
Oh, this is a punish, like you better believe on the left.
I believe it in chat. And what am I looking at?
Oh, you're looking at the battle ram that's gonna get stopped, but so much. The bats are coming in. Is
Inferno Dragon's gonna get the lock. Look at this thing, it's going nuts. Pulled off by the tornado, but left side tower for Lupanji goes down to 1707.
Wow, tornado and zap. That is something you don't see very often.
Not at all. We'd expect to see more troops with splash damage in this deck. You know, Baby Dragon, Executioner work very well with Tornado. Maybe one of those is his last card. I guess that the Mega Knight can work pretty well with Tornado, but I guess, hang on, with Balloon Band, what is the...
There it is.
I was going to say, what is the need to play something that can hit the air targets?
There it is, the Sparky instead of the Balloon in the deck. He just was like, Sparky in, Balloon out.
Sparky can't hit this Inferno Dragon, though, and it's going to start burning things up.
Oh, but it oh, no, mistake was made.
What was that?
The Ice Golem was played about a tile too low.
Oh, we wanted it to survive that exchange, huh?
Yeah.
I got you. I see what you're saying there. All right.
Bat
Connects on the left lane. Look at that.
Ooh,
the Mega Minion's about to make it in there, too.
Mega
Defensive Bandit on the right side trying to deal with this Gabo gang, but the Mega Minion has done some mega damage. Left side now down to triple digits, but the counterattack by Islaw is getting a lot of hits off. Zap prevents the bats from killing that Bandit on the right side, and meanwhile, left lane attack has been pretty much stopped short. Barbarians and Mini P.E.K.K.A not going to reach the tower. Much more damage on the right side. Islaw bringing it down to 1070.
Yeah, Miner just getting a little chip here, a little chip there, but the Bandit, he catches up to the Ice Golem with the phase. Is he gonna hit the tower? Oh, no.
Left side Bandit gets the dash in, and this Bandit Blitz bridge spam deck from Islaw has been absolutely tearing Lupanji up on both sides. Lupanji's only been able to hit the left lane, but I think that Islaw is going to try to defend one more time. Let's see. Miner does get the connection there. Good hit from Lupanji, but no big spell in his deck to finish it off.
No, here comes the assault on the left-hand side. Is he going to zap the Sparky?
Whoa! Sparky Nado! The Spark Nado hits that left side super hard. We got to keep this Barbarian out there. Barbarian!
Sparknado did absolutely nothing.
It stopped the ground-based push, but
Yeah.
Battle Ram just drops the ram. They keep on walking, right?
Yeah.
Inferno Tower, or Inferno Dragon rather, unaffected by ground-based damage. Sparky needs to be able to hit air if she's going to be able to stop those pushes.
Yeah, especially, and just like you said, if you're carrying a battle ram, let's imitate OJ here, you know, you're moving, you know, guess
OJ and
what?
Eclipse, they were just...
The log falls, and then Eclipse and OJ are sitting there, they're like, hi.
Still here, chopping at the
still
tower.
here.
Was that Eclipse or OJ that got the final kill on that left side?
You know what?
It's kind of hard to tell. He was
I'm gonna say
sneaking
it's
in there in the
Eclipse.
back.
Eclipse came from the back.
Yeah,
you know
he
what I
came from the
mean?
back.
He was sneaky.
Yeah.
You know?
he charges out in front.
Yeah.
He's you know, blood and glory.
New OP Sparknado deck.
Yeah.
Eclipse,
Oh, man.
beating the new OP Sparknado deck from Eclipse right there. You know, you got to make sure it's a little clickbaity.
I've seen some Sparknado before. Yeah, of course, Eclipse the clickbait. God, look at the Sparknado defensive play here. Takes out a bandit, forces the battle ram down, doesn't quite hit that Ice Golem in the back, and it looks like just enough damage. There we go. Eclipse going in for the final kill. Didn't get to see it at the end there, but
Yeah.
Barbarian chopping the tower down.
Just chopped him down. Left-handed swing. And that's that. And I think the Ice Golem explosion would have killed it anyway with the 70 def damage from it. But nevertheless, that's going to be game number 1 going to Islaw. Bridge spam. He's used that about, I would say, 4 times now in the CCGS. It's been one of those decks he brings out. He's the only one to use it. I'm surprised because it is a pretty good deck. It kind of brings you back about now I'd say 2 metas ago, I guess you'd say now. It feels like yesterday when Battle Rams were just connecting right, left. In game number 2, do you think he continues to go back to it? I think every time he's played it 2 times in a row to punish his opponent before they really have a chance to adapt to it, get used to it. Do you think it comes out again from Icelaw?
Oh, yeah, he loves playing this deck. He just got the win with it. Why switch it up? Icelaw, bouncing its head. It's got Eye of the Tiger going on in the background. I think it's got some good song, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course.
The
Eye of the
giraffes
Tiger.
are OP too, right? The giraffes help them
The
out. back there.
giraffes?
Yeah.
Dude, that's like my doctor's office when I was like when I was 5.
It's still your doctor's office, isn't it?
Shh. I told you that in confidence, Woody.
I'm sorry, man. I just wanted the people to know the truth.
Damn, I told you that, man. Come on, man.
All right, Icelaw gets to 10 elixir. Baby Dragon in the back will be able to burp down on this little Mega Minion Bats push. Punish at the right side. Is Icelaw got a log? No, I don't see one. Goblin stabbing that thing down. The Miner soaking some damage as well. Brings it to 1896.
Wow.
1746. Even more damage over there.
Miner coming in on the left-hand side. The Bandit. Is the Bandit going to phase on the tower? No.
No fee.
Frosty the Snowman.
He's a jolly happy soul, just taking those hits wherever he can.
Miner on the left.
Swinging on in there to soak for this Mega Minion. It's been getting a lot of value in these games recently. Distracted by the bats there. I think that Icelaw's got just enough to keep it off the tower.
Just enough.
Yeah, we've been naming troops. You recall, I think that Goblin's name was Matt.
The Goblin. Yeah, Matt the Goblin.
That bat that just saved him was Justin.
Justin? Justin the bat?
Because it was just enough.
Sounds good. So we got Justin, we got Matt, and we got Larry.
Ooh, look
What's
out.
Sparky, though?
Oh, Fireball
Oh!
takes out Sparky. She's got quite a bit of hit points there, but couldn't withstand the heat. Lupanchi trying to cool things off here, sends in the Ice Golem, but I don't think it's going to be able to get to the tower either.
It is
Both players at 8 elixir now, and it's the big attack from Lupanchi in the right side, going in hard. Goblin's going for the tower, but no, distracted by the Night Witch over there. Just in the bat up on top, taking him down, and the Night Witch actually survives. Can Icelaw punish? No, he's going to go in for the big push.
But
on the
Sparky's
left
a
with the
huge
Golem.
counter.
It's kind of hard to say. She doesn't do enough damage to take out the Golem. If Icelaw's got enough air support, you might be able to take it out with only taking, one shot onto the Golem. It's a lot of damage, though. Ooh. But Golem's still at about 80% health there. I'm more worried about this right side push. Fireball takes out the attack.
Look at this Sparky, though, just destroying the Golem.
You're right, actually. Look at that.
Yeah.
Finishes it off. Kitty
at
reaches the
this.
tower. Golemite's moving on in. They get pulverized by the Sparky as well. But she's ignoring that Miner out the back left. That's going to be a lot of damage. And Baby Dragon's relatively unopposed here now. Icelaw may soak a damage from Sparky. No, zaps it
Ooh,
to
that's
stun.
a bad zap, though, because now you got to deal with this right-hand side without a zap.
Yikes, Bandit taking that Miner
Matt!
down, but the Goblins connect!
Oh, Matt does a little bit of damage right there. We have a Bandit on the right-hand side. Fireball coming out.
Icelaw trying to dump the damage and get that final blow, but it looks like he's a little bit too short. 153 on the
There
left
it
side means
is.
Lupanji has got that right side within zap range, and he will tie this series up. The 1-0 victory for Lupanji in this game means we have a 1-1 draw, and this match is going to a tie breaker in Chatton.
Oh, it is.
Oh, yeah, it is. You remember all those other times that they were 1-1 and they went to a tiebreaker? Why don't we just go ahead and do the same thing again?
Just continue. Just roll the tape, man. Just roll the tape. Just continue to go.
Keep
over
it
and over
going
again.
all the time, yeah.
Matt the Goblin, once again. These Goblins today, what did they drink?
I don't know.
Did
They've
they
been
drink like a
going
potion of
nuts, but
elixir?
even more crazy are all the Sparkies on field in Chatton. And you know what's better than one Sparky?
Two.
Two Sparkies. Exactly.
A Sparky.
Left side defense from Mupanji is double spiggity Sparky. Nuking those poor rocky creatures on the left side. And a nice Ice Golem to soak some damage here from the Baby Dragon as well. Bats get the job done, taking that out. Lupanji for the kill out the right a little bit later when he got another connection. And here it goes. Miner soaking hits as the Goblin game comes in. What are we looking at, Jen?
Look at this guy,
Oh.
that Goblin in the back. That little guy just got in there, just chip, 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 chip. At the tower, I think this may have been the first time, this might be in the record books, 2 Sparkies, 1 arena in competitive play.
Hey, do you happen to know what Icelaw's Goblin's favorite food are?
Don't tell me it's coleslaw.
It's chips and queso.
Ooh, chips and queso.
Chips and queso. The Team Queso player from France getting the stab in over on the right side, but Lupanji getting more damage after all. It's a 1-1 draw now, and we need a little bit more convincing in chat. And I'm not sure who the better player is right now. I need another win on the board before I can announce.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I need another Sparky on the board. That's what I need.
You want to see some more double Sparkies?
I want to see double Sparky on this. You know what? I know Lupanji's going to run Graveyard already, but I want him to run Sparky. Graveyard.
Yeah? Okay.
Graveyard Mortar.
Graveyard Mortar.
Oh, it's not getting a little ridiculous.
Oh.
Not getting a little ridiculous, all right?
Is it getting hot in here in chat?
Woody was like, Graveyard Mortar. He was like,
Hold on.
Hold on. Where's my
Hold
pen?
on. Oh. Start taking notes.
Yes,
Need to cool off.
There hasn't been. I wanted somebody to bring Mortar back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like Mortar has been one of those cards that hasn't really seen anything. The only maybe one out of every, 150 competitive games it's in. It's kind of one of those cards that's just always second fiddle. You know what I mean? I feel like the Expo is just a little bit too superior to the Mortar. So why would you ever really run the Mortar when you can just run the Expo?
Because Mortar is lighter.
It's lighter.
It's more free. It costs 4 elixir.
It floats.
It gets the lock on there, and then you don't have to worry about it. Also, okay, for real though, I think that's something that Mortar fans have been happy about is even though P.E.K.K.A. and Mega Knight are absolutely huge, massive beasts, the Expo locks on to whatever is closest. And it starts killing it, and it doesn't go onto a new target until that target is dead. The Mortar, however, it's a little more flexible. You know, something walks up a little bit too close to the Mortar, and it says, nope, not going for it. Retarget onto something further away. It's the only troop that has a minimum range. It won't shoot at something that's directly next to it.
Oh, wow. It's really the only troop. That's
The only
interesting.
card, I guess it's not technically a troop.
Yeah.
But the only card that has a minimum range.
And look at that. Good to know. The only other card like that, I guess, would be the Bandit Dash.
Yeah, Dash, and same thing with that Mega Knight. Nice rocket hit on the right side, though. Lupanji going in hard with a Rocket Hog deck. He's got to defend against an Inferno Dragon moving in, though, and Islaw's got a little bit more elixir to play around with now.
And here it is, the bridge spam deck that he ran in game number 1. Oh, look at this, the lane swap. Here comes the Bandit and the Panorama on the right-hand side with the Goblins. The Zap comes out, but the Goblins...
Ooh, good Zap Ice Golem combo. Keeps the Goblins off the right side tower. Lupanji soaking a few hits from the Barbarians, though, but they can't swipe at that Mega Minion. Flying high and into the right lane. It's got an Inferno Dragon to shut it down.
Inferno Dragon here. I mean, Hog Rocket. It's going to be an uphill battle for Ice Law to get back into this match. Here comes the Hog Rider. Gonna get a shot.
Alrighty.
Mini P.E.K.K.A. is going to meet the Skeletons here. This is, I guess that you could say, the biggest enemy to a Mini P.E.K.K.A. is a skeleton, especially even when the skeletons were in that quick cycle hog deck in the beginning of time, I guess you can say. I mean, this was probably 3 months into the game. The skeletons, the 1-cost skeletons, were just easily able to shut down Mini P.E.K.K.A.'s left and right. Here comes a huge push, though, on the right-hand side. We have a battle ramp.
Whoa! Zap gets the stun, but it looks like that rocket control could not hit the Inferno Dragon. Still flying high and proud. Taken down by a Mega Minion now. Oh no, it actually doesn't go down. Good Zap by Islaw keeps it alive, and we got a ton of troops out in front to tank for it. Locking on to something down there, not quite the tower, but it's still a massive push. Battle Ram connects. Can this tower survive, or is Islaw gonna tear it down?
Oh, Islaw tears it down. Lupanji just not having a quick answer for what's coming at him.
I think the missed rocket there by
that was the
Lupanji
difference.
was the difference between victory and defeat, and you can see the player portrait's actually a little bit reversed here. Islaw is actually on the top and Lupanji on the bottom. That missed play there means that it looks like Lupanji is not going to be able to get the tower down, and that's going to be the win for Islaw.
That is going to be the victory. Islaw, the coleslaw, is going to take a victory. Little bit of chips and queso, huh? A little chips and cheese, nachos and cheese, nacho cheese. He's gonna take this victory. Oh man, great victory. He needed that one. Ice-Law gonna get the victory over Lupanji. Lupanji made a strong showing, beating Louie earlier in today. Takes the loss to Ice-Law, and that's gonna help Ice-Law pull up on the leaderboard. Oh, but we're going to take a look at this replay. Mega Minion coming on the left. Ice Golem just slowly walking in. Look at this. The Battle Ram coming in on the right-hand side with the Inferno Dragon. The Goblins coming out. And the Mist Rocket seals the deal. And that is going to be the game. That is all he needed in order to win that match.
Nicely done there. Taking a look at the beautiful arena out there. What a kill in chatting.
Oh, amazing, amazing, amazing. Ice-Law, Donkey Kong. The Donkey Kong 10-2 is going to be our next match, Woody. Oh, I'm getting attacked by a baby dragon.
Oh, it does just splash damage. You should be able to take it, Chen.
Oh, wait, no, I got the P.E.K.K.A for you. Hold on, let me, yeah, we're
Don't worry. Don't worry,
P.E.K.K.A
can't deal anything to this baby dragon.
I can't hit it.
Oh, it's going for my phone, though.
Oh,
Stop
no.
it. Block it. Block it now. Oh, boy. Well, we've got another match coming up soon, guys. DK and Tin are going to be playing next, but why don't we go ahead and send it back to our friends in the locker room. Trade, what do you got for us?
Thanks very much, Woody. Yeah, you need to watch out for those baby dragons, though. I hear they like to steal people's phones, so really got to keep an eye on that one. But I'm joined in the locker room again. I've got Rom with me. We're going to break down some of the bans we've had to this week and talk about some of the things that have piqued your interest. And first off was match number 1. I think we saw a mirror graveyard ban.
Yeah, so I think it was Tin against Ice-Law, if I'm not wrong, which is very fun because the graveyard just got buffed yesterday. I think it's very big buff because now the skeleton spawn much closer to the tower. So basically, even if you poison it, the skeleton still can sneak the hits and take your tower also.
Yeah, to me, like the double graveyard ban says that they're just uncertain. They're just a little bit of uncertainty. They think it's going to be stronger. They might not have been able to catch up on how this card's change is going to affect everything. So they've basically said, I don't want to deal with this. Let's just get rid of it. It's fine. So it's actually our first mirror ban, I believe, other than the double bomb tower ban we saw in week 1.
Yeah,
I think it's our first actual mirror ban. So that's interesting to see that the balance change has affected that. There are a couple of other bans as well this week that piqued your interest. I think it was Lupanji and Donkey Kong was one of the bans.
No, I think it was. I don't. Yeah, I think we've seen that against Lupanji, even Louie and even Ice-Law right now. They both banned the balloon against. I say they both banned the balloon against Lupanji. Lupanji is known to be a great loon player, so I think that it's a smart ban to get the favorite card of your opponent out of the way, and that makes Lupanji play other decks that he feel probably less certain about and show his real skill like in these matches.
And I mean, the P.E.K.K.A ban just gives himself a free reign to play Mega Knight because that's the hardest counter to Mega Knight. Is there anything else other than hard tanks that are just messed up by P.E.K.K.A being allowed?
I don't think so, because even if you play Golem and you have Night Witch and other stuff stacking around, they can tear the Golem down, and then with the Golem Knight's help, you can take it down, the tower down. Yeah, I think the Mega Knight is just a strong card to use when P.E.K.K.A is banned.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we just saw the matchup there again. It was another balloon ban against Lupanji. I believe it was balloon ban, and I believe it was Ewiz that were the 2 bans that came out in that previous matchup. Now Ewiz just got nerfed as well. Does it still warrant a ban?
Yeah, I think it is, because if you think about it, Sparky just got buffed.
Yeah.
If you want to use the Sparky, like if you spawns the Electro Wizard on your Sparky, Sparky gets completely reckless. I mean, you can't use it. So I think if you want to use the Sparky, it's really smart ban to use the ban the Electro Wizard.
And there was one more I know you want to talk about because we had a big chat about this off camera. Donkey Kong banning the Elixir Collector. But it doesn't make a lot of sense when you think about it because of his deck choices. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Well, so as we know, Golem decks and 3 Musketeer decks always, like 99.99% of the time, use Collector. And we know Surgical Goblin is known for predicting what his opponent is going to use. So when Donkey Kong banned the Collector, he made Surgical thing, he's probably not going to use any beatdown deck or any 3 Musketeer decks that we know that Donkey Kong really likes, because the Collector is banned and it's a key card in those decks. But we've seen that Donkey Kong used the Golem, which is a beatdown deck, heavy beatdown deck that always have a Collector, and 3 Musketeers deck that I've never seen a 3 Musketeer deck without a Collector. So I think, yeah, that was a really smart ban by Donkey Kong.
Yeah, that was one of the games, not necessarily for the gameplay, it's more the mental aspect against his opponent.
Yeah, trying to play psychologically with his opponent mind, which was Surgical Goblin at the time.
Yeah, I believe we got on Max matchup next. I believe the commentator said it was going to be Baron versus Iceloy, I believe they said, or something similar to that. Donkey Kong versus Tin, sorry, my mistake. What do you think? Would you think Donkey Kong will try the same tactic of self-banning the Elixir Collector? Or is that one of the fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me kind of moves?
Well, he could actually try to ban the collector again and then use other decks. You always want to mess with your opponent's mind to get him to get him to think you're going to play X or play that. I mean, if you ban the collector again, so you said Iceloy is going to play against him.
Yeah, no, it's Tin.
Tin. So Tin might think, oh, he's trying to mess with me. He's not going to play Golem that, and then
he actually plays it and catches him off guard. Yeah, that could be a great option for him. But anyway, we're going to go back to the caster desk, and we're going to bring you the next couple of matches to close out the series, including that Surgical Goblin soaking matchup. Woody and Chanton, take it away.
Psychological Warfare versus Surgical Goblin. The king of that didn't really work out for him in that matchup, did it, Woody?
No, it didn't in Chatton.
Oh.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
You got to bring something special. You got to wake up pretty early in the morning, my grandpa used to say, if you want to beat me. I think
Pretty
Surgical
early?
Goblin is the grandpa, the big daddy, the silverback patriarch of the Clash Royale European region. Only's dropped 2 games so far. Losing one of them was one of his queso buddies, Soaking, proving yet again that he deserves to be up on top. But can he get one of those top 2 placements? Only time will tell. We got DK and Tin coming up next. Isn't that right in Shannon?
$10. $10 versus DK. DK showing himself for the 3rd time today. Can he get the 2nd victory? He took down Louie, dropped again to Surgical Goblin. But in this matchup, we're going to take a look at the bans. Donkey Kong clearing away the Miner. $10 taking out the Mega Knight.
Yes, I see. Miner and Mega Knight removed from this matchup. Not going to see any of them at all. I feel like with the Mega Knight ban, you also are a little bit less likely to pay P.E.K.K.A. since she does really well against the Mega Knight. So ground-based push is not going to be quite as popular. I'm expecting to see maybe someone running a Logbait deck and someone running a Lava Hound deck. What do you think, Chen?
Maybe we might see Graveyard here, probably Donkey Kong. Hopefully he doesn't play 3 Musketeers because that would be too predictable. And there it is, Cannon Cart coming down.
One shot to those poor little gibbity gobs. Has Donkey Kong got a tank? Oh no! Misplay from Tin. The Executioner going down the wrong lane means that Tin is forced to drop a Knight to drop this cannon now. And Knight's not going to present any trouble at all on the backside. DK with split up gibbity gobs. Does soak 1 Executioner swing on the right side, but he's got 3 more Elixir to play around with, and it's a Mega Minion at the left lane.
Is there going to be a tornado?
Ooh, not looking likely, and Baby Dragon's not a good counter to the Hog Rider. He gets 2, 3. 4 swings onto the right side tower. And Chatton, did I read that right? 1198 damage left. I think that was a good hit from $10.
Oh, it was a good hit? You don't say.
Yeah.
You don't say. I mean, his
do
tower's
say.
hurting, man. His tower's hurting.
Tearing it down, brick and mortar.
Brick and mortar?
Yeah, that's what they used to... Oh no! Tried to catch that Executioner, and a zap forced out by Donkey Kong to prevent the Executioner from just absolutely tearing that right side tower down. You got a Golem marching in the right, but there's nothing to defend the left side now. Hog Rider and Goblins are about to stab this tower all the way down. TK finally fights some Goblins of his own, but look, that left side's done. It's done, man. And that's the difference between playing Log and playing Zap right there.
Yep.
Even with this right side tower down, $10 is still relatively safe here, and I don't know, he's getting kicked back. Cannon Cart's going straight for the tower. Little freezy, frosty defense from $10 gets the job done, but DK's pumped up now, and I think he's got to leverage this Elixir advantage that he's got. Look, he's got a ton of juice to play around with.
Yeah, a ton of juice.
Turn it into a win.
What's his last card? Is it going to be a Night Witch? Hopefully, but why wouldn't he have played it versus the Hog Rider?
I don't know, man. Perplexing. Something's messed up about this game, but DK knows he's got to go for the 3 crown now. He's marching down the right lane with a Golem Mega Minion combo. What can he add on to make this a win?
Oh, well, there's the Cannon Cart with the... Ooh. Oh,
Executioner Tornado chops that whole push up. What a great combo move by $10. He still has to worry about the Golem and the Baby Dragon, but he just got mondo value on defense there. Double Golem marching on in, but I think it's going to go for the Arena Tower. Nope, actually,
It's going nowhere.
It's going for the King Tower now. Tornado pulls it back, and yeah, it's going somewhere, but it's not going anywhere fast. Finally makes it into the King Tower, and Donkey Kong going for the 3 crown. Suffers a fireball on defense, but I don't think he's got enough firepower to finish this thing off. Cannon Cart locks just out of range, and that is going to be an L. DK cannot manage to get the tower down, and $10 will have the 2-1 win in that game.
$10. Beautiful defense. That is how you perfectly play Executioner Tornado. Every single time he tried to go for the opposite tower, nope. Tornado right behind. It was like they were in line. They were falling in line, just shooting axes coming out left and right. Overcommitment there. Kind of, you know, Donkey Kong, he just needed to try to get something on the tower. Unfortunately, when you have a Tornado, when you have an Executioner, which it doesn't matter how much you want to nerf that combination, it is going to be the strongest defensive combination in the game without question. It hits air, it hits ground, it hits something 5 tiles away.
Now, something that's great about Tornado is that it can control your opponent's troop movements. It's kind of the only spell that you can do that with, but it doesn't get a whole lot of damage in. Another spell that doesn't get a whole lot of damage in, Zap. Not enough to take out those goblins, and you see Donkey Kong panicking here now as the Hog Rider Goblin combo wipes out that left side tower. A 6 elixir push tears it all the way down. Great punish by $10 there. Set him far ahead, and eventually to take the win against DK 2-1.
2-1, and it's like that. It's when you're playing a Golem deck, you want to take damage, but you don't want to lose your entire tower. Pretty much on the first Hog Rider, there was only 1 Executioner swing, and then the Hog Rider got it down to 1100. Then the second Hog Rider, you don't have a tower on the left, your tower on the right's at 1100. What do you really do at that point? You know, you're sitting with your back against the wall there. You got the pump down, but just like you saw there, just because you have a pump doesn't really mean you're going to win. With a Golem in double elixir time without a tower, Tornado, MVP spell there. And just like you're saying, zap over log. If you have a log kills goblins, zap kills bats. He chose zap, he had goblins.
The difficult thing about going for the King Tower in this game is that he just has got so many hit points. You saw that Donkey Kong was able to tear that tower almost down to triple digits, but he's got like, what is it, 1,300 more hit points than an Arena Tower does. Arena Tower at 2,534. I can remember that one off the top of my head, easy. But the King's got over 3,000 hit points. It takes a lot to take that guy down. Checkmate is not so easy in Clash Royale. A lot of times you just got to go for the smaller towers.
Yeah, and I mean, he even rides a rocket now, if you saw on the new loading screen.
I did see that, yeah.
Oof. You got to really do work to take him down. Imagine if you had, what happens if each King Tower had a rocket that you can only use 1 time in a game?
When would you use that rocket? You'd have to wait until your back was up against the wall and you had just an absolutely massive attack coming at you. I like the concept of once per game type moves that you can do, though. Just like the absolute trump card if your opponent's coming at you hard.
But your King Tower loses half HP when you do it.
Ooh, ouch, that would hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Well, Graveyard Attack at the right, it's getting a lot of value in. We got a Fireball on defense, but it doesn't hit all the skellies.
No!
The bats go down, but right side for $10 already at half hit points. Donkey Kong playing a Graveyard Cycle deck. Might just be inclined to soak the damage from these goblins and try to defend against this left side push. Looks like that's what it'll do. Ooh, Tornado spell. Nicely done. Pulls the Hog onto the King, and with him activated, he's got a little bit more of a defensive edge against $10 attacks.
$10. Ugh. That Tornado, though. Whenever you have a Hog Rider and you see in a Tornado, it hurts. It hurts.
10 just scratched the side of his eye. I think he was trying to prevent a tear from welling up. Unfortunately, that right side down to 1194 means that he is far behind in this game, especially with his opponent's King Tower activated. DK pulled off a reverse sweep against $10 in Stage 3 in order to qualify for Stage 4 here in the top 10 of the region. Can he do it again?
Ooh, well, we're going to find out. 887 is the magic number. Hog Rider coming in on the left, Tornado coming out as well.
Boom, just like clockwork. King and both towers lock onto the Hog, and that's a solid 3-for-4 trade on defense by Donkey Kong.
And by the way, there's only one tile that you can play a tornado right there, where it prevents all the damage from the Hog Rider now after the tornado nerf, and that was the tile. You have to just wait before it clips your tower in order to pull it to the middle for that to happen.
Just barely. And something else I learned from OJ is that you can actually pull the Hog Rider onto your King Tower and not even suffer a single hit onto your Arena Tower, but still get your King Tower activated.
Yeah, I know. I think he used magic for that.
Yeah, pretty much
I've tried
magic.
It's yeah. I mean, he
It's
drank
tough,
his orange.
huh?
I mean, I needed to drink orange juice before I did it.
Yeah. Some high quality orange juice.
High quality. When I see him in a couple of weeks, I'm going to ask him how many takes did it take.
Yeah. Should do that. Cannon cart pops, but it's still there. Fireball not enough to take that right side tower down. And we got double hardcore defense from DK. Poison's going to be able to take out that right side tower. Can Tin get the punish? I think he's a little bit too short with the tornado spell as well. Looks like that thing is not going down. DK puts this thing into a 1-1 draw. Tiebreaker against one of our top-ranked players. Tin, Dala, and Donkey Kong both in that spot vying for the top 6.
Yeah.
It's tough to get there, though. They're in the middle of a pack, and they want to make a play for the top. This is an extremely important matchup for these two guys because whoever wins has a chance to move on. Whoever loses has got a much more difficult path to victory.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those situations where if you lose this, I don't really like to say it, but you lose this, you might be out.
You very well may be. And it's not just that they're both kind of down toward the bottom of the bracket. It's also that they're both right next to each other. The matches where players are right next to each other matter the most in terms of ranking because someone's going up and someone's going down. If you're right next to each other, you're going to kick that guy even further down and be able to move high up. Let's see Donkey Kong's first initial push out the right side, the push that got him most of this damage. With that Executioner out of Tin's hand, he didn't have hardly any splash damage to fight back against a massive Graveyard Bats push.
Yeah, all it takes is one push, just like the Graveyard of old and the Graveyard of always. Graveyard is always going to be one of those spells where you need to wait, get one good push off, and then just cycle Graveyard Poison or just cycle Poison just to get that remaining damage.
Sort of like Expo in that.
Yeah, it's sort of
you need one good
Expo.
hit and then just get some spell damage on the rest of the game. Play hardcore defense. And dang, he was playing great defense with that Tornado spell. Hardly took any damage on his towers from the Hog Rider after that.
Yeah, just so you guys know, Tornado versus a Hog Rider. If you are the Hog Rider player, you got to try to somehow outcycle that Inferno, outcycle the Tornado. But when you have a heavy unit like an Executioner and, you know, a Knight instead of like an Ice Golem, you know, an Ice Spirit as well, you can't really cycle Hogs that fast. And you saw there, Tornado, MVP of that game, just like you said, the towers were pretty clean the entire game.
I don't know if you've checked this in the card art for the Tornado spell. There's actually a little bitty pig kind of flying around there. There must be a Hog Rider flying around somewhere in there as well. But the devs knew that Tornado would be a great counter to Hog Rider. 3 for 4 on defense and able to clump up a bunch of troops. It works pretty well against Swarm decks as well.
Yeah, it's a very versatile card. I think it might be the most versatile spell card in the game.
Huh. You know, in chat, I've got this emote contest right now on my Twitter page where I'm offering 10,000 gems to the players who can come up with the best emotes that should be added into the game. And one of the replies that I got was for times just like these, where both guys are sitting there, neither one's playing cards. It's just like an emote where you're just like looking, an hourglass, like looking at your watch, like hum-de-dum-de-dum. Okay, we're both kind of waiting for the other guy to make the first move. Why do players sit here not playing any cards like this sometimes?
For 2 reasons. Main reason is you have a Golem or you have 3 Musketeers. Second reason is you have the worst cycle of all time that if you drop, let's just say, a Giant or a Golem or anything on the right-hand side, an Expo comes down, you instantly lose, you know? So you can get severely punished by what happens here. But this is just going to be a stalemate. More than likely, 90% of the time, if you waited this long, you're going to wait till double.
Did you notice that Tin just like put his phone down for a second there? I was waiting for him to like pick up a couple balls and just like start juggling or like twiddling his thumbs or something. You got to stay active in this game. You don't want your mind to rot.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't scratch his eye again.
No. I think he's ready, though. He's wiping his hands off. palms sweaty, knees weak, arms spaghetti. He's getting ready. $10.
$10. That's the new hottest mixtape. That's it. You heard it here. That's $10 mixtape, guys.
Boom, right as soon as double elixir time begins, $10 with that minion horde in the back. Rockets the pump for the even 6-for-6 trade, and Donkey Kong's gonna have to deal with this big swarm push at the right lane. He's got Muskies, 3 of them in the back are shooting down all the Gabos and the Musketeers stay clearing out the minions as well. DK in a dominating position now. $10 going to defend with the bowler at the right, but what has he got for this left lane push?
He's got a furnace. Ooh, arrows.
Nice arrows onto the minions there. 3-for-3 trade prevents that Musketeer from getting a whole lot of damage in. And it looks like the block here is good. Musketeer on the right side, though, is going to get a few pop shots off. $10 pushing on the left, though. Are we going to see another rocket onto this pump?
No, we're not. It's too late, but there's a mirror. There's got to be a mirror.
Oh, my God. What if he had rocketed right as soon as he threw that barrel and hit all 3 Muskies and the pump? Can you imagine?
That would have been a beautiful
what that would have been? Oh.
Ugh.
Not this time, though. Minion horde to defend at the left lane, but it gets frozen down. Battle ram. Can't quite connect. DK happy to push either lane, though. You see that right side down to 1830. Means that he would probably prefer to play that side, but the deck that he's running here, 3 Musketeers, just plays on both sides of the map at the same time. You're never really pushing up for one massive attack on either side. You just pressure both lanes at the same time.
And here it is. This is going to be the play that Donkey Kong needs in order to get back into this game. But he might be met with a bowler, a little bit of bad placement on the bowler. This connection, this could be the game here. Ice Spirit.
Barb chopping that tower down. Left side, Donkey Kong has actually managed to get it down to 1494. Tin having trouble fighting back against this deck. You see the mirror spell coming in now. Tin is using a very defensive control deck to try to get damage off of Donkey Kong, but he hasn't really hard connected at any point yet.
No, not yet. Rocket coming out on the left-hand side, but here comes a battle ram. Can the battle ram connect? The answer is absolutely not. Good Furnace.
Nice Furnace gets the block there, but we don't get another wave of Fire Spirits coming out, and even just one hit from the Barbs could have been dangerous. Good defense there by Tin, but the Musketeers just been popping shots off this whole time. DK pumps up once again. Elixir Collector in the center there, trying to get the advantage for him as he sends in another big wave of Musketeers.
Yeah, Musketeers just continuing to cycle one after another. What is he going to do on this left? He has to throw a rocket. This battle ram's going to connect again.
Oh, it gets there! Big hit on the right for Donkey Kong. He is turning things around. Bandit even dashes into the left side, but the Musketeer might be able to finish out the right first. What's going to happen? Barely manages to keep these towers up, but $10 not in a good spot. DK hasn't shown the last card of his deck, but it doesn't seem like it's a big spell.
No, it looks like it's probably a zap, but it's not even going to matter. This is going to connect on the... Oh, my goodness! Wow,
The double barrel.
Oh, my goodness. That's a log.
The double barrel last-ditch move to try to get the tower down. Log gets the solid 2-for-7 trade on defense there.
How often have you seen a 2-for-7 trade, instant evaporation of 6 goblins that are spawned on your tower? Like, shoo. And the mirrors one more. I mean, you got to give him an A for effort there. You know, he tried everything he possibly could, just fell up short. Donkey Kong, triple Musketeers, double elixir time. You're going to have the advantage. I think $10 needed to play in single elixir. Donkey Kong played it perfectly. He kept on cycling to get his pumps. He got the pumps, he got the Muskies down, he got a little bit of chip.
ABC.
ABC, but
Nothing too complicated about that.
Here's the thing that you have to do with listening at home and seeing at home is you saw Donkey Kong continue the pump game. A lot of players in the end abandon the pump game and just continue to cycle 3 Musketeers, say, I'm not going to pump, I'm not going to be able to get another one down.
They ran out of steam.
Yeah, and they run out of steam towards the end. Perfectly played there by Donkey Kong. We're going to take a look at the replay, Woody. What do we have coming out here?
We've got the first big move from $10 as we get into double elixir time. He makes a good play out of the right side, gets the Muskies to shut him down, but Minions and Goblin Barrel is probably about as much as he could have asked for. I think that he probably knew at this point that he was in a lot of trouble, though.
That he was, and that's the game, just like that. Simple, easy. I'm going to keep my pumps down. I'm going to get my Musketeers to do damage.
Yep.
I'm not going to try to get any damage in unless I have a pump down. That takes a lot of composure to be able to stay to your course. Say, I know how I have to win with this deck. I'm going to win my way. He didn't get taken out of his game. And a lot of players you see, you get taken out of your game, you get taken out of your element, you start going for the gold, you know what I mean, without, you know, finishing the last leg of the race.
Yeah. Well, what a great match that was, but what have we got for you next, guys? The top 2 players in the region, Surgical Goblin and Soking, players from Team Kesso, brothers in arms, but once again, we're going to see them duking it out in a friendly battle here. Surgical Goblin has got some nice momentum leading into this match. He won a match earlier today, but so did Soking. He's doing pretty well, too. They're both quite evenly placed, and I feel like they are definitely, in terms of the leaderboard, the top 2 players in the region. Let's take a quick step back and hear what Soking has to say.
My name is Jesus Ruiz. I'm from Spain, and my game name is Soking.
Soking gonna take down the tower on the right-hand side.
He's so
King
good.
I live in San Fernando. It's next to Cádiz. It's home of the traditional flamenco, and it's a fishing village. I am the only one from Spain playing the Crown Championship. I'm getting a lot of support of the people of my country. They want me to win this.
And Soking is now in the lead.
When I went to the first line event, I won the first place. After that, I played a lot of tournaments representing Team Kesso. My greatest moment in Clash Royale was when I ended the second place on the ESWC Gamescom, playing on the final to Surgical Goblin. He got first place. He's one of my best friends. I think right now he's the best player in the world, but I think I can beat him.
That tower's going down. Soking has defeated Surgical Goblin. Wow.
My name is Soking, and the World Championship is mine.
Surgical Goblin, Soking, the marquee matchup of today. This matchup can't be hyped enough. 10-2, both players here, Woody. Unbelievable. Are we going to see a 2-pay army again? Or is Surgical Goblin going to get his revenge and take down Soking?
I feel like we might see the revenge push here. You know, these guys are so evenly matched. I just would have to assume that the guy who won the first time would drop the second time. What an amazing game to determine who's going to be top 2. You know, it's conceivable that the player who loses this match could still be top 2. They've got a commanding lead over Isla and Louie, who are, you know, nipping at their heels in 3rd and 4th place right now. But Surgical Goblin, player from the Netherlands, and Soking from Spain have got a lot on the line here. They're not going for the E-Barbs ban. Remember, they banned Elite Barbarians last time. They are going full try-hard mode this time. Ewa is banned by Surgical Goblin, and Soking goes for the Princess.
Yes, Surgical Goblin, after losing that first matchup, was probably like, Soking, no E-Barbs this time. I'm banning
He's
the card.
going for blood, man.
So this is where we might be best friends, but for today, we're enemies.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of one of those things where you're both 10-2. You know, somebody's going to be on top of each other at the end of today, at the end of this match. Because these are the last matches that both these players play. One person's going to end the day with 3 losses. The other person's only going to have 2.
And let's clarify just once again for those of you watching at home, what exactly it means to be into the top 2 position, right? So at the end of this double elimination series that we have going on right now in Stage 4, we're going to go into Stage 5. That's when the money gets handed out in chatting. And in order to get that big old prize, you got to win as many games as possible. Starting off in the top 2 position means that you basically start with a free win. The bottom 4 players, or rather, I guess players 3 through number 6, are going to be seeded into a bracket. They'll duke it out against each other, and the winners of those matches then go up against the top 2 guys, who basically get a free win moving in.
Yeah, Surgical Goblin, Soking. Who's going to be in first place? Who's going to be in second?
A battle of emotes from these 2 guys. Surge throws away some little ice spirity type deals and gets the connection onto the pump there. Nice zap from Surge. Takes those poor bats out, and the miner has finished off the pump. Surge with a decent punish there. He's actually only ahead of by a little bit of elixir. I think Soking still doing pretty fine here, but Surge brought that left side down to 2394. Takes just one little archer hit on the tower.
That one little archer hit.
Yep.
Could it be the difference?
Could be. We've seen towers go down to literally 1 hit point today.
That is true. Pump comes down on the right from Surgical Goblin, and we're going to have a P.E.K.K.A. from Soking.
Interesting. Well, Soking won 2-1 the last time that we saw these guys play on day 2. Was not a decisive victory, but we got 2 big beatdown decks from these guys this time.
P.E.K.K.A. Yard poison. Oh my god, that poison.
That value poison, taking out the minions on the back, being able to finish off the Musketeer. Skellies from the graveyard stacking up, and that's going to be a lot of damage. Surgical Goblin zaps him down, but there's no defense against the P.E.K.K.A. P.E.K.K.A. locks on for a chop. Miner to be able to push him off, but the Bat's going to get a little bit more damage in as well. And the P.E.K.K.A. hits again! Right side down to 67 hit points, and Surgical Goblin is in a lot of trouble. Soking pulls far ahead in the early exchange.
And just like you were mentioning before, what type of deck you'd have a P.E.K.K.A. versus a Mega Knight right there. If he had a Mega Knight, you could have easily pulled that away with the Ice Golem. P.E.K.K.A. easily one-shots.
Another attempted punish on the left side. Graveyard going to tick away at the Elixir Collector, as well as locking on to the tower. Bringing it down over 1,000 hit points, pulled off that left lane. Surge really needs a massive turnaround to be able to win this game.
Yeah, 3 Musketeers being split once again. Poison coming out, and Surgical Goblin just got to be shaking his head.
So he clips the tower and takes out those Muskies on the right side with the Poison Zap combo. This is going to be a 1-0 lead for Soking. And even on the left side, Soking is ahead in damage. Tower down to 1444. He's going to soak a Miner on these archers in the back here. We need a quick zap to be able to take out those bats, but not quick enough. Defense resets, and Double Bandit moving on in gets chopped apart by Soking's defensive P.E.K.K.A.s.
Just like that, Soking gonna take game number 1. Surgical Goblin, no matter what he does, there's just gonna be a poison coming down.
To take out the Muskies, yep.
Yeah.
Graveyard set up now on the left lane. P.E.K.K.A. Soking for it, and Soking has shown us what is up. Left side down to 173 hit points, would have even gone down to a poison. That was effectively a 2-0 win for Soking.
Yeah, Soking asserted dominance in game number 1.
Shout out to Tag.
Shout out to
doing
Tag.
that dominance assertion.
Dominance assertion.
What a way to start the series.
Oh, unbelievable. Like, especially that you finished second to him in GamesCon. You know, he's kind of referred to Surgical Goblin as, you know, the best player in the world. Right now, it's looking like Soking might be taking over that spot, and a lot of clout from Surgical Goblin.
What an amazing performance there, and especially the fact that he was able to bring a new deck in here. I mean, and Chetan, have you ever heard of a P.E.K.K.A. graveyard deck before?
I mean, it was kind of there, but like, not really to this effect with the archers, with the bats, because bats really weren't around when, you know, that deck was really big.
Yeah.
Great switch up with the deck. It was kind of still a quick cycle, and it stops, you know, Mega Knights. It stops a lot of factors that would really kill you. And just like that, you saw P.E.K.K.A. got to the tower.
Shutting down those poor ladies set up on defense. 3 Muskies and Bandits had nothing to say against Big Mama P.E.K.K.A. That's why she's the boss. That's why she's going to stay the boss. We have got another game coming up next. If Soking gets the win, he is going to be moving on with a victory over Surgical Goblin. He was 2-1 last time. Do you think Surgical Goblin's going to be able to put this thing into a tiebreaker?
You have to say yes. I mean, you can't expect this series to go 2-0. These players are just on another level. Surgical Goblin is not going to go down without a fight here. I think he is going to make this game a statement. He's going to take this as a victory and hopefully try to rattle Soking. I think Surgical Goblin's probably going to run an interesting deck here, run something completely new that we haven't seen, kind of like what Soking did, but, you know, kind of expected something like that with a graveyard. I think we might see a Sparky come out from Surgical Goblin or something very interesting to try to just get a victory here and really say to Soking, I'm coming back. I want that #1 spot.
Ooh, the flying troops coming on out. We got minions from Surge. I like that from him. I still think that the minions are going to be better than bats in this exchange. Ooh, quick attack at the left. We got Bat supporting a balloon miner push. What the what? Soaking drops an elixir collector in the center to distract this balloon. It gets absolutely obliterated, and how can Soaking turn this thing around now? Calling the GG. That was clearly an unfortunate misplay. Left side tower gets torn apart.
Ugh. That's before the game even begins. It's over.
Well, what should we do for the next 2 minutes in chatting?
Talk about the Frosty the Snowman.
Move it in on the right lane. Looks like he'll explode on the archers. Surgical Goblin looking confident here, though.
Pekka on the right. Minions from Surge.
Soaking, stroking his non-existent beard there, trying to figure out his next line of play. But it's not going to be an easy one.
No,
Marching down the right side with a Pekka. Ooh, she will be able to chop out this Mega Knight. I think that's a pretty good
yeah, no, it's a pretty good
exchange
exchange.
here. It's Pekka Graveyard again.
But the minion horde, though, gonna do work.
Stabs down that poor Pekka. Poison finishes it off. But Soaking not able to turn this thing around just yet. About 700 damage off the right side tower. Not a terrible hit. Or wait, no, that's 900 damage. That's even more than I thought.
Yeah, but, I mean, you got to deal with now a 7 Elixir Mega Knight full health.
Yikes. Can we stop it? Soaking with the Ice Golem and Bats to start stabbing it down. Bit by bit.
Where's
They're
the
getting
zap?
some work done.
Want to buy Zap.
What to buy Zap, please? Please sell me Zap. I need a Zap right now. And that's what the Mega Knight's saying.
Yeah, and he never got one. Here comes the balloon on the right-hand side. He was loading up for this. The Zap comes down. Is he going to play another defensive bump? The answer is no.
Zap and Poison. Archers at the very end there keep that balloon off tower. But what an expensive trade in Surgical Goblin's favor. Soaking dropping, what is that? 9 elixir worth just to stop the balloon, and it still gets death damage on tower.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
But sometimes there's nothing that you can do. I feel like Soaking just had no answer that worked there.
No answer at all. Minions, this is going to be a poison.
Double minion deck from Surgical Goblin. He's got the Horde and the standard minions. Poison in the back, gets that Graveyard a chance to connect down to triple digits now, but he's running out of time. I don't think with 15 seconds left he's going to be able to get the win.
I don't think so at all. I think
Last chance.
Oh.
Graveyard coming in, but it targets onto the skeletons, and that is good game. Soaking has no way to get the damage off, and with especially, oh, that's actually an offensive poison. He had a chance there. I like the chutzpah from Soaking, throwing it all on the line and trying to get that tower down to put it into overtime, but there was no way that he's going to be able to do that, especially with that early defensive fail. Balloon cruising on in for an easy tower kill. Surgical Goblin puts this thing to a 1-1 draw, and we are going to have a tiebreaker match.
Yeah, not only was it, you know, a miss played because it didn't pull it enough, at 6 elixir you just dropped on the field, it got you nada. Blue still hit the tower.
Yep, it still did, and we just, I hate to show this again to you guys, but you have to see the crucial mistake at the beginning of this game. Balloon cruising on in. It's not too much for Soaking to deal with, but dropping a defensive elixir collector in the front gets a distraction off for a little while, but Miner Soaking in the back gives that balloon just enough oomph to get to the tower, drops it easy peasy in the first 45 seconds.
45 seconds, a tower is already eliminated, but just like we thought, game number 3, this is going to be a great one. This is going to be who finishes number 1, and now only one match. 3 minutes, unless we go into overtime, is going to decide who is going to be the king cheese, if you will. Who's going to be eating their nachos tonight?
It would be somewhat poetic to see Surgical Goblin take the 2-1 victory over Soaking this time. That would mean that they would have both had 3 game wins against each other and 1 match win against each other. I don't know, though. If Soaking pulls off the 2-1 again, he might have something to brag about in the team locker room later on. And it would make sense if he brings a new deck to get the win. I think Surgical Goblin has got this Pekka Graveyard deck figured out, knows how to counter it, knows how to shut it down, and he's not really afraid of it anymore. Soaking has to bring something new again if he wants to be able to trick Surgical Goblin and get the victory.
Yeah, the only good thing about the patch just being dropped tomorrow and the balance changes kind of being dropped is...
Yesterday, not tomorrow.
Yesterday, I'm sorry. Yesterday, Soaking is able to kind of hide his decks from Surgical Goblin a little bit here. He knew he was going to play him tomorrow. He probably was practicing with somebody else, you know, kind of hiding his decks, anticipating that he knew he was going to go up to Surgical Goblin. He knew he was going to need to bring something new, bring something fresh, and I kind of am interested to see what he has cooked up. He had the P.E.K.K.A. Graveyard, tried to play it twice in a row. Surgical Goblin was not having none of that. Hopefully he doesn't play it 3 times in a row, because I think Surgical Goblin's going to take a victory if he does.
The thing about these games at the CCGS is that you can't just play the best decks and play them better than anyone else. You've got to bring something completely new that your opponent cannot predict at all. Defense is such a refined art, and these guys have completely mastered it, that to just give them the same thing that they've been going up against since time immemorial in Clash Royale is not going to work. You got to bring something new. Oh, Ice Spirit gets one shot by the cannon cart. That's a bad exchange for Surgical Goblin. Takes about 600 damage out the right lane. Soaking taking this time to pump up, but he's got a big counterattack, punishing hard with an Expo push out the right.
Wow, a Giant, though, the #1 thing you never want to see when you're an Expo player is a Giant. But look at this. This
Plenty
Giant
of damage from Surge. Shuts this push down, and I'm pretty sure that's a healthy Expo at the right lane. Bats are going to get a little bit of damage off of it. But forcing the cannon card out from Soaking, he's got...
Full pump, though.
Yeah. I don't know, it's a tricky one here. I think that Ice Golem actually pushes that cannon card out of range, and even if it dies now...
Is this a Graveyard with a Giant cannon card pump?
I don't even know what I'm looking at right now. The GG from Surgical Goblin, not happy about seeing that additional pump going down. Soaking has just got so much elixir to play around with now.
Yeah, even if Surgical Goblin had a Rocket in this deck, if he tried to Rocket, he would have lost. Oh!
I mean, he's got to have either Rocket or Fireball in there, right? Expo decks almost always play some sort of mid to large spell in them.
I would hope so. He's going to be in trouble on this push.
Tanking damage with this Giant, though. It looks like he is in a commanding position now. Soaking, moving in hard on the left. Good defense out the right by Surgical Goblin, but yeah, I don't see a big spell in there yet. If he's got one, he's not willing to play it.
Not yet, and I mean, Surgical Goblin, not in a terrible position. I mean, Expo does beat 3 Musketeers, but you got a Giant, you got a cannon card as well. Surge just playing defense.
I haven't seen a single big spell from Surge, and Soaking is punishing them perfectly. This is exactly what you do when you have Elixir Collector and your opponent doesn't have any way of taking them out. You play the long game. You're willing to build up massive pushes with Giant out in front, especially to soak damage from the Expo, and pretty much anything on the back end to get the damage in. Musketeers are just an absolute overkill from Soaking here. You could see them getting distracted a little bit over on the left lane, but a Giant moving in to support on the right side means that the Cannon Cart and Musketeer that still survived will deal a massive amount of damage at the right side. We've got Ice Spirit Archers on defense. There's just too light, too chippy to be able to finish off this big push that Soaking has put together. Tesla coming in at the last second for Surgical Goblin, getting absolutely no value whatsoever, sitting there in the center of the arena. Almost a 2-crown for Soaking as he will pump his fist. The victory for the Spanish player. Team Queso will retain their top position here, the top 2 players, Soaking and Surge, but Soaking has moved ahead of his friend from the Netherlands.
That's it. Over. Two-Pay Army has prevailed. 11-2. 10-3 for Surgical Goblin. Just like we said, you'd have to bring something completely new, something Surgical Goblin has never seen before. He obviously has never seen that because you don't run Expo into Giant Pump Cannon Cart. You just don't.
No.
You just don't. And he even had the quick cycle. So even if you try to get down Expos as fast as possible, I have Ice Spirit, I have Skeletons, I can easily cycle back 4 cards to my next Giant to shut down your Expo over and over again. And we're looking at just a 12 elixir lead just pummel.
That's what a 12 elixir lead does, man. You get Giants and Muskies stacked up, and there's literally nothing that Surgical Goblin's deck can do to defend here. Nice, solid Tesla, got buffed a little bit, trying to get value out the right side, but placed a little bit too far back. It did not pop up out of the ground to deal with those Muskies just quickly enough. And you saw the steamroll there, a 2-0 victory for Soaking. He hard countered Surgical Goblin. To be fair to Surge, that was pretty much as hard of a counter as you can get. But that's what happens when you play decks that are a little bit too singly focused and don't have responses to things like Elixir Collector.
Yeah, and Surgical Goblin just didn't have the answer to the Collector like you said. And late game, double Elixir Collectors. I mean, especially with a cycle deck like he had, he pumped out those Musketeers. He had, I think, what,
he was literally
Musketeers?
pumping out Musketeers, wasn't he?
Yeah,
the Elixir
he
Collector
literally
getting
pumped
great
it out.
value there. It's hard to get those 9 Elixir troops on board, but I think he had 2
Yeah, he had
casts
5. Yeah, I think
of
he
the
had
3 Musketeers out there. Yeah.
5 Muskies, 1 field. He had, I think, 4 Muskies, 1 lane. And he didn't even have a single Muskie. He just had the triple.
2 Muskies, 1 Giant.
2 Muskies, 1. We're going to get into our
On the
next
right
match.
side of it.
Louie versus Baron is going to be our next matchup. It's going to be our final matchup of today. Louie versus Baron. The 2 Germans are going to battle it out. Bats being banned from a Louie. Triple Musketeers being banned from Baron. That's going to take away the 3 Musketeers from Louie, who likes to play it. Bats going to take out, well, Bats from Baron.
Exactly.
Baron gets to play his Electro
Well said
Wizard.
in chatting.
Yeah, Baron gets to play his Electro
He
Wizard.
will. Do you think he's going to run it? Or since it's been reduced in power a little bit, the damage got taken down. He shoots things a little bit slower now. Is that going to, cause Baron to steer away from it?
Well, I mean, it is only on the first attack, but 2 people already banned Electro Wizard versus him. I feel like they still think it's strong enough to where he's going to use it. I mean, here's the thing. It doesn't die to Fireball. It only dies to really Poison and Lightning.
Remember when it used to die to Fireball? That thing, no one used him back then.
Ugh. That one little change, though, made him from the worst
From
cards.
0 to hero, just like that. Boom.
Boom.
Got him back in, but he's been a little bit too strong recently. Had to get a little bit of a haircut. He's got some wild hair going in there. Little reduction in his power is
I would have liked to see a
definitely
haircut.
appropriate.
On,
Yeah.
like, the art with the nerf. Like, every time you
get
nerf him,
nerfed, you get a haircut.
yeah, just get him a little
That's what happens.
trimmed down.
Hey, and chatting, I told the friends out there in Twitter world that you were trying to pick up the princess, and I got a few pickup lines for you. One from Lucky said, I can show you my max log. Another one came in from Dako83. He said, I feel a burning desire for you, my lady.
Well, actually, me and Backstab actually did this when I was in California. Look at this Poison, though. Going to do a little bit of damage. Going to take out the pump as well.
Quite a bit.
Me and Backstab, I actually got a number with Are You a Hog? Because I want to ride you.
Ooh.
And we got a number with that.
That seems kind of offensive, though. You're calling them a hog?
Yeah, you know what? We recovered from it. We recovered from it. I had to recover from Backstab saying how much money he won from Clash Royale, thinking that was going to garner her attention.
Yeah. I think I like this one a little bit better. I got it from Boxford T Diaries. He said, tell her that she makes him quiver. Get it? Quiver?
Let's get into this match, Woody.
Wait, hold on. I got one more for you. I got one more for you. This is from Trainer Dippets. He says, I can be the log to your bait.
Not bad.
Is that enough?
Not bad.
Is that enough?
Not bad.
I think we've had enough now.
You've had enough.
Low pumping up in the back left corner. Prevents this Mega Minion from connecting. Nice little Frosty the Snowman out there. Baron playing a deck that feels like it's from like a year ago. What is this? Splash Yard? that we're finally seeing?
He's playing Quick Cycle Graveyard that has 2 pumps against him. Pretty much, he's dead.
He's dead. Yeah.
He's dead.
Expo set up over here on the left side in front of Turn. Not going to be able to burn it down. Baron in a lot of trouble. Yeah, it's not the Splash Yard. I guess we don't see any Tornado.
He needed to have a Giant in this deck. He needed to have Giant Graveyard. Giant Graveyard beats Expo.
For sure, it does. It does, but it doesn't beat whatever.
He doesn't beat the bait or the log. I like
Running
that.
on through.
I like that from Dippets, though. He kind of took in the princess, you know what I mean? Which, you know, I'm going after.
Right.
And kind of combined it all into one.
And because she gets played in bait decks, right?
Exactly.
I can beat the log tier bait. Because bait decks also need a log. It works on many levels.
It does.
I didn't appreciate it the first time I read it. I had to ask for clarification. But it came in pretty well.
Expo locks onto the tower, and this is it. This is just what you call having a plethora of elixir. We've seen this now 2 games pretty much in a row of where when you're able to pump up and not able to defend it, you're just going to get pummeled down. Once with the Expo and once against the Expo. Goblins and the log. He's going to try to defend it with everything he has. Expo going to chip down these skeletons. And I don't think Baron has enough juice in the kitchen to be able to win this game.
The defense mode, not normally a very good move, but you got to do what you got to do if that's all you need to keep the tower up. I don't see any reason for Louie to play this game long past overtime here. And obviously you see here now a 1-0 win for the German on bottom. Louie from Team Gankstars. Victory over the German Stars player Baron.
Baron. Ooh, he's got to get this victory now.
Yep.
Louie, you're looking strong. I mean, when you have pumps that get unanswered versus a graveyard cycle deck where you just need to keep on cycling, you can cycle faster than them and really get your poison. It's kind of a hard matchup for the graveyard player, but I feel like he was able to pump too easily. You know, the pumps got down, and then it just started turning into that snowball effect, kind of the snowball effect that we found out last game on the receiving end. The Expo, you know, finally got, you know, the dishing out, as you can say.
And Expo with pumps has been working very well. You want to see one of my favorite things is a siege building locking on a tower. There you go. Left side, Expo gets the lock, and that thing is going down. Doesn't have very much left in it. Louie for the 1-0 lead in this game, manages to hold on to it the whole time there. Baron trying to just poke and prod at the right side with graveyard pushes, but can't finish the tower off.
Yeah, just tried to do whatever he could there, but once an Expo gets your tower and you're able to play a defensive Expo versus graveyard, Expo shuts down skeletons pretty efficiently.
You can reset its targeting with like a zap or an ice spirit or even a free spell, but absent that, once it gets the lock, you're donezo, man. You either got to take that thing out immediately or go for the opposite lane. Baron kind of did a little bit of both there, and it might have been the indecision that resulted in him ultimately dropping the game 0-1 against Louie. He'll need to really turn things around and get that 2-1 victory if he wants to move up. Louie is actually a contender for a top 2 spot. If Slaw, Soaking, or Surgical Goblin manage to slip up, Louie is going to be right there to scoop up some more wins and try to get to the top. Now, we had a matchup previously. These guys have played before. Louie and Baron played on day 2. Louie got the victory there 2-1. They had banned Elixir Collector and Pump in that matchup. So different bans altogether this time, but the trajectory looks the same. One win for Louie here means that he is starting off strong against Baron.
Yeah, very strong. It's looking like possible 2-0. I mean, Baron kind of getting a little amped up today in his loss earlier. You saw him get a little wild. I think maybe the pressure is getting to him. And when you're in the red, you can't really afford to lose and make any mistakes. Otherwise, it could be one more loss towards elimination where you can't come back, you know, where it's mathematically impossible. You know, it's getting to the stage of possibly, I think after maybe next week, we might have mathematically impossible, you know, comebacks at this point. You know, we already have people at 1-13, I think it is, or 1-12 it is, 1-12. It's getting to that point where it's dire. And
for Adam and them, since forfeiting games last week and this week, I don't think there's any way for them to turn things around. But Donkey Kong and Tin are still at it. They're not mathematically eliminated just yet. But after this match, you're right, we've only got 2 more weeks of round-robin play before we move into our finals bracket. Louie and Baron are fighting for position here right now. Baron really wants to get into the top 6. And he was at the top 6 position earlier today when we started things off. But a loss here might open up Donkey Kong or Tin to take that spot from him.
Yeah, it's just these one little interactions, these one games, they're so prevalent because anything can happen in these matchups. And just like you said, Woody, one game can be the difference between Louie in the top 3-4 or Louie in the bottom barrel, the bottom 4.
Speaking of barrel, we got a Goblin Barrel rolling in the left lane. Connects to great effect for Louie, bringing the tower down to 1864. Baron with a couple of bats swooping on in, going to get them taken out by Princess. Princess and Bandit meeting each other on the left lane here. Is the Princess going to survive? Yes, she will.
The 2 girls that are going to deny me this week.
Hey, I thought you had a chance at the Princess still.
We still do.
Okay, yeah.
We still do. We still do.
That's pretty pessimistic to say that she's going to deny you then.
I'm only kidding. We got a lot of quality pickup lines on Twitter.
Of course we did.
It's already in the bag at this point.
That Princess just got a ton of damage on the left side tower. Look, another shot off and bringing it down to 1164. Baron just trying to defend very lightly against that attack.
Very gingerly.
No, gingerly.
Very gingerly.
Yeah. You thinking of the Valkyrie now?
I'm thinking about...
You're thinking of a ginger. You're thinking of the Valkyrie.
Yeah. I forgot. Hey, listen, there's a lot of fish in the sea. Just got to keep swinging.
Not many more redheads, though, right? Besides the giant?
That's true. That's a good point. I don't think I want to go anywhere near the giant, Woody.
Oh, okay. Why not? He's a big, friendly guy. Trin will tell you he hangs out with
Is
him all
Matt
the
the
time.
Goblin going to get the tower? No, it is not, but the right-hand side going to do a lot of damage.
That not enough to stop the Goblin Barrel, and we still need something to finish off this Princess.
Oh, the Bandit. Guess
Played a
what?
little bit
Read
too
patch
far away.
notes.
Yep. A little bit too close, rather, actually, to the Princess,
Yeah.
not within dash range there. And Baron's not happy about that. Finally
Ooh,
gets a
the
dash on from
reach.
the right side. Baron's getting quite a bit of damage over to the right. Actually brings it down to 1254, but Louie is still ahead. I'm wondering why he's barreling the left lane if he's done more damage to the right side, but far be it for me to question the decision there. We got two princesses over on the left.
Wow, hashtag protect the princess.
Yeah, for real, man. Keep the princess alive. That was Mario's goal, and he did it pretty well. Looks like we're doing the same thing here in this game. Let's get Golem reaches the right side tower, but it's going to get tornado to the center. That's a King Tower activation, and Louie doesn't have much to worry about with this Golem. Stopped short.
The Lumberjack go on the right. It's going to clear out this Goblin Gang. No big deal.
Yes, it will. Defensive barrel
It might
from
be over.
Louie. Zap comes in. The Goblin Gang, not enough to stop it, though. Right side tower goes down. Baron turns that game around.
Wow, Baron, the Golem annihilation. That's the one thing about Golem is you kill the Golem, you explode it. Two Golemites still have a lot of health. They're kind of like ice golems. They're kind of like too many ice golems. Guess what? They're still really good tanks. Lumberjack comes in. It swings fast. It swings furiously. And guess what? The Bandit comes out. She dashes. And just like we've seen a couple of times today, when the Bandit locks onto your tower, over. So
Louie playing kitty games at the bottom, trying to just dash in there with a little goblin here and there,
Stash.
tossing the barrel in the tower. It took Baron just enough time to pull that belt off and get the whooping down on that right lane to get this thing tied up 1-1. Let's take a look at the Golem that got the job done. Louie pressuring that left side hard, but the Bandit's just enough to clear that lane out. And with the double lane push here, you see right side Baron sends in the Golem, left lane's got a Bandit Night Witch combo. We switch back to the right eventually, and with the Ice Spirit supporting this Lumberjack, he is the one to get the killing blow at the right. Lumberjack just works so well against those small little chibi troops, and it's perfect spell support from Baron that got that right side down. Zaps and Ice Spirits exactly when the Lumberjack needed them to be able to finish that tower easy peasy. The Swarm troops usually work well against him, right? But not this time.
no, not this time at all. Perfectly played there by Baron. Waited till double elixir to really get the Golems to start ramping up on the towers, and just like you saw it, he had the left lane pressure with the Night Witch. He then brought in the Golem. The Golem was coming in anyway to go gets tornado to the King Tower. He said, "You want a tornado it to my King Tower? I'm going to drop a Lumberjack. I'm going to drop a Bandit. I'm going to drop an Ice Spirit. I'm going to drop everybody. My sister, my cousin, my third." My relative that I don't even talk to anymore, but I'm going to talk to today to bring her in. And that's it. It's over when that happens, when the Golem ramps up and the Golem has the Golemites with those extra hit points and the elixir advantage. It's really hard to stop. It's one of those pushes where it gets his name beat down for a reason. It's going to come in and it's going to beat down your tower to 0.
And that tornado spell, you notice that was being used to try to draw the troop onto the King Tower there. The Golem can't really hit either of the arena towers if he's forced to go to the King. It works really well against kind of lighter pushes. We've seen tornadoes pulling Hog Riders onto the King Tower, clumping up little smaller pushes together, but the Baron style attack there was big, heavy bodies out in front to block Golem and Golemites eventually when the Golem exploded. But Lumberjack even, Bandit on the backside. Night Witch even, not very much swarm from him, and not a whole lot of opportunities to really get value out of that tornado spell. Louie on the bottom has got to turn this thing around to get the 2-1 win against Baron if he wants to contend for a top 2 spot.
Yeah, well.
Baron in survival mode has managed to get the win in that last game, and he's going to be holding on still. Log in the right side rolls through the barrel, no problem at all, but it's an even elixir trade as Louie rockets the elixir collector right in front.
And there it is. The pump gets rocketed. Looks like bait again from Louie. What is Baron going to run? Are we going to be watching the same kind of interactions as we just saw? Bandit comes in the right-hand side. It's looking like it might be.
It's an exactly even trade so far. 6 for 6. Actually, 2 for 3 is in Baron's favor, but we're going to get a Bandit trying to dash in on the right side, blocked short by Gibbity Gobs. The gang out the right is getting the job done. Nice log onto the pump there. Saw it coming from a mile away. Baron's going to hold on to the elixir there.
Here comes a knight. Protect the princess in full effect.
Good play there by Louie. I think that the log might have been a little bit of overkill, but he's holding on strong. And this is a nasty, big ground-based push coming in from Louie. Nothing to defend from Baron. He's going to soak a lot of damage on that right side, but he's got the elixir advantage. That pump being up is well worth the juice if Baron can get another one of those big pushes put up.
Yeah, a minute and 33 seconds left into the game. It's kind of one of those situations where you pump again, you take the damage if he wants to rocket it. No big deal here. You shut down this princess, and then you start loading up your golem.
He's got one in the chamber ready to fire. Baron is just trying to bide his time until double elixir. That's when you can really get a hard punish against these decks. But check out that lumberjack. He chops through the goblins without much difficulty, and reaching the tower, his yelling timber as he gets it down to 1934.
Yeah, yelling timber just like that. The log comes out.
It's going down. He's yelling timber. Right side golem marching on in, but Baron didn't have to worry too much about this left side push. 3 elixir Mega Minion, all he had to play to keep that thing off. We got another golem marching in the right now with a Night Witch behind, but check out this log a little bit late. Baron actually did wind up taking quite a bit of damage over there, but the golem quite healthy, reaches the tower. No tornado from Louie or Inferno Tower.
Left.
What the what? Finally, we get that tornado to calm down.
Ooh, 10 minutes later, is the golem going to explode on the tower? That's not going to be enough. Wow, that golem is playing offensively. He wants to win, and he wants to win right now. Golem, Bandit, is it going to be enough? That's the million-dollar question. Log comes out.
Rolls through, but can't quite get rid of this Knight. He's going to retarget onto the Bandit, and that might actually work out to Louie's favor. Finishing off that Bandit means that the Knight is cleared up to deal with this Golem. Now double Knight on the left side tower. Ooh, he misses that last punch, and there's no death damage over there either. That might have kept Louie alive, but he's still in a lot of trouble.
Lumberjack swinging away at the right.
Finish it off. There's no defense from Louie. What are you doing? Good game, and a thumbs up from Baron as he manages to pull off that reverse sweep. 2-1 victory from Baron.
I think that may have just kept his tournament stake alive.
I think it did, man. He started off in 6th place at the beginning of the day, and that seems like might be where he'll wind up finishing off the night. Nicely done to him. Louie, however, is going to have a very difficult time stabbing up into the top 2 with that loss there, and he's actually contending just to stay in the top 6 now alongside his fellow German. We had a win for Louie in the first matchup on day 2. A win for Baron turns it around today.
It's over. Beautifully played by Baron there. Same decks, same outcome. And here's the thing. If you're going to run the same deck and you lose and you run into the same deck again, look at this beautiful tornado, though. Louie did everything right at the end of this game besides stop this Lumberjack. Look at this guy.
Ice Spirit not enough to stop it. He needed to just drop that Gabo Gang at the right to finish out the Lumberjack. Lumberjack wound up getting over 1,000 damage off that right side tower. You cannot underestimate someone with such a massive, fast hit speed and damage.
Yeah, he had the Goblin Gang in his hand. All you do is Princess. Goblin Gang would have been able to shut down the Lumberjack. But guess what? If you don't drop anything, your tower is going to go boom.
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 Boom goes the dynamite.
Boom. Done. Done. And then you sit there and you wonder, what if I stop that Lumberjack? But here's the thing. You don't really see too many Lumberjacks out there. But that hit speed, though. Ooh, it could take a tower like that. It's like it's chopping trees out there. It's chopping towers.
He's been drinking that rage for sure.
Oh, man.
Well, Chen, it's been a pleasure casting with you today. That was our last match. I appreciate Rom and Electrify also for coming out today. And thank you very much, Trid, for interviewing them. Big thanks to our production team as well for keeping everything online just as well as they can. And I think we're going to head back to the stage now. It looks like we've got our final bit of interview and closeout for you to enjoy. See you guys.
Thanks very much, Woody and Chatton, for this week's matches. Of course, that's another week done for the European region of the Crown Championship, and with only 2 more weeks left to go, these positions are going to matter even more. But let's take a look at how today's matches panned out. I know we had a couple of buys, a couple of default wins coming in, but we had some great results here from the 9 matches we've had so far. Looking out on this one, Donkey Kong obviously getting that free win against Nem Sensei. Same with Tin. But Lupanji getting a 2-0 victory over Louie. He's definitely embraced the new meta of these cards that the balance change has changed. Soaking picking up a win against Baron. It's been a fantastic day for this guy. Donkey Kong with the 2-1. Surgical Goblin with the 2-1 against Donkey Kong again. So a little bit of a vengeance coming out for Louie, I suppose. Lupanje and Icelaw going up against it. Icelaw picking up a 2-1 victory on that as well. Louie then picking himself up a default win against Adam. But this is where it starts getting interesting. Donkey Kong with a 2-1 against Tin. Soaking with the 2-1 victory against Surgical Goblin. He will secure himself that place at number 1 on the leaderboard, undisputed at this point. Speaking of which, let's have a look at it now. Soaking with an 11-2 record up on that board at the moment. Surgical Goblin technically drops a place, but not really, because they were tied at the beginning of the week. Icelaw still in a great position to potentially dethrone Surgical Goblin in the coming weeks to get himself that preferential seeding spot. And you're going down Louie, Lupanji, Berin. They're so close to dropping into the red zone. It's Donkey Kong that needs to upset them in the coming weeks to get himself out of the red and into play. Tin can also do it. He's not eliminated from these matches yet, but Adam and them Sensei, there's no way they can qualify for the top 6, so their journey ends in phase 4. We're going to move back over here so we can have a quick chat about the end of the show. I've got to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for sticking through with the broadcast today, because there was a lot of problems earlier on with the network outage that we suffered. So thank you for continuing to bear with us and continue to watch the show. But that's it for this week. You can tune in tomorrow to check out the Latin American broadcast, the day after for the North American. But of course, we will be here at the exact same time next week. So have a nice night and enjoy the new update.